Manlier clap this time.
Yeah. Not so dainty.
Dude, dude, I think I came to the conclusion today. I think I'm gonna start going to the fucking gym, bro. I think I need to.
It's time to get back into active mode, or what?
It is, man. I've been feeling very just lazy and like, oh yeah, cheers, and just kind of like a slob, you know.
Got to get the blood flowing again.
I do, because like I've had this experience like the past few months with like I think 3 different people where they've all been like, wow, man, you're getting bigger. Are you like working out? And I've been like, actually, no, I haven't been working out. So like the first time I was like, oh, nice
Thanks.
compliment, know, like someone was like, fucking, I think it was Mia from Jeter. She was like, oh, like you're working out, like your arms look a little bigger. And I was like, maybe I am.
Little do you know.
Yeah, little do you know. And then I think I was actually here at my house, and my Uncle Joe was like, hey, wow, man, like you going to the gym? Like you look like you're getting real big. And I was like, oh no, just eating a lot more, just like, just eating a lot more food.
Yeah.
And then it was a couple days before Thanksgiving. My cousin and his family came to visit my grandparents who live right behind us. So we were there chilling. Then my cousin's mom was like, wow, Ryan, like you look like you're getting bigger. Like, have you been like going to the gym, like working out? And I was like, actually, I've been doing the exact opposite. I've been eating a lot of junk food and playing a lot of video games.
Yeah.
So
Nope.
And then that's just been like sitting with me, and I'm like, fuck, dude.
It's like first time you hear, you're like, hey, all right, cool. Second time you're like, oh, okay. Third time you're like, get the fuck out of here.
Especially because like I've always been like pretty I've always been short. I've always been like smaller and like skinnier. And like I worked out like in high school. I did like CrossFit and I did shit like that. So I was always like kind of fit, but I don't think I ever just like noticed it. But then now being just like, I see my little muffin top, when I take my showers in the morning, and I'm just like,
It happens too, bro. Like I feel like around this point is where the metabolism starts to slow down, So it's like the things that you probably could have gotten away with when you were still a teenager, even like early 20s and stuff like that.
Just can't do it no more.
Not no more, man. Yeah, it'll start to hit, man.
But I love Taco Bell, bro. I love just
it's really good.
I love a beefy 5-layer burrito with the fucking seasoned fries.
I don't think I've had the seasoned fries.
It's just like, how they do like the nacho fries?
Yeah.
It's just like, those fries. Yeah.
That's fine.
So when you go in, because I'll always like go in to Taco Bell, because like I feel like it's pretty fast, especially because no one really goes in there.
Exactly.
And you get to order at the little kiosk. And on the kiosk, you get to customize your shit.
Yeah.
So you can do like extra cheese. You can do extra sour cream.
Whatever you want.
You can do whatever you want. And I like looked one day and you could do the seasoned fries. And I was like, oh, fuck.
Let me throw this on there,
dude.
Bro. Yeah.
Adds it makes it almost like a California burrito. But just Taco Bell,
Yeah, exactly.
And then there was a time when they had like the spicy Fritos. You could put those in there too.
That's gas.
Really good, You put those and then you get the fucking fire sauce. Fucking perfect.
I'm a sucker for the Dorito shells, bro. And the flavor, really. They're disgusting.
The Doritos Locos Tacos.
I love them, dude.
They are pretty good. Like it's such a smart thing. Like
I never would have thought though. Like when I initially heard it and like the commercials came out for them way back in the day, I was like, that looks disgusting. Why do I want Doritos as my taco shell?
Yeah.
And then I tried one.
And you're like, wow, this is actually way better.
Yeah, than I ever could have imagined.
Yeah.
It's delicious.
No, it's really fucking good. I always liked it too because like if you watch like the World Series and stuff like that, they always have like a day where it's like, if this team steals a base, then on this day it's free tacos, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And fuck yeah, I'm always hitting that shit up, dude.
Like, oh, you're disappointed, but not because you even give a shit about the game. Just like, fuck.
Yeah.
I don't get my free tacos.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've decided to make the conscious effort to try to live a healthier lifestyle.
That's good.
I got a chicken Caesar wrap for lunch today.
Oh, nice.
Not bad. I've never been a big salad guy.
Okay. And I feel that it took me a long time too.
Never really was down for like the Caesar salad, I think just because I've never liked ranch and I always associate ranch and salad together. So I'm always just like, I'm cool with that.
Now, Caesar dressing is bomb though, bro. Caesar dressing is really
a little anchovy-based dressing. I'm pretty down for.
I don't think that I would mess with like anchovies on their own.
No, fuck no.
Mixed in and to make that flavor delicious.
Yeah, I think one year for prom we went to like a super fancy like restaurant, and I think like off the bat like they gave you like a Caesar salad, but it was with the anchovies on there. And
yeah,
I was
that
like,
always kind of kills it. Yeah.
I think I ate one and I was like, kind of interesting. Not gonna eat one again, but yeah, chicken Caesar wrap wasn't bad. Wasn't the best chicken Caesar wrap.
Sure.
I could tell, like, I'm not a veteran chicken Caesar wrap connoisseur, you know.
But you know a good
but I was
food
like,
when you
but I was like, this is pretty good, but I can tell there's probably some better ones out there. You know? So I'm kind of excited now to be like, oh, let me try this chicken Caesar wrap.
Dip your toe into the salad world a little bit.
Because then one day I'm gonna find just like a crazy chicken Caesar wrap or like a crazy chicken Caesar salad. I'm like, oh,
that'll be the one. Yeah, it took me a pretty long time to get into salads too, honestly. Like, I don't think it was until like maybe the last 3 or 4 years that I actually started eating them. But I just really like them as like appetizers.
Yeah.
Because like, I don't know, so it's hard for me not to want to get appetizers when I go out to eat. Yeah. Because it's like, fuck, I have to wait probably 20 to 30 minutes for my food, depending on like how quick everything is, right?
Yeah.
So I want something now. But sometimes I feel like I spoil my like main dish if I get something that's too filling for like appetizers. Salads are just perfect.
Yeah, that's true. I do mess with like the salad that they give you when you go to like Sapporo's.
Oh yeah, those are good.
That dressing that they have.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's super fucking really good.
Yeah,
I'll fucking bathe in that shit. It's so fucking good.
You just freaking throw some salad into the bath and just fill it up with the dressing. You're good to go.
Fuck the water in the bath. Just fill it up with the dressing.
The dressing, just be healthy.
Just dressing. I'm just gonna bathe in the dressing. That's the most
healthy you can be.
Exactly.
Bathing in salad.
That's actually the healthiest part of the salad is the dressing. If you didn't know,
has a lot of unknown skin benefits.
Yeah, less lettuce, more dressing.
100%.
More croutons.
Yep. Throw the bread on there.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. Croutons I always fucked with croutons when I was a kid. Like, I remember going to like when we would go to like a round table, you know, where they do the endless fucking salads.
Yeah, that's right.
One of my family members would get a salad and be like, can I get a fucking crouton?
Yeah,
let me have crouton. You're like, damn, these are fucking good.
I like to munch on them as like snacks, you know, like same, like I'll pick them off here and there, but I can't say that I will put them on my salad, honestly.
Really?
I don't know. It's just like there's already enough crunch there for me with the salad.
I feel it.
The crouton is just a little bit overkill for me, you know? Plus, I don't know, like the super, super hard bread, not my favorite.
Yeah, I feel you.
When I bite into bread, I want a nice crunch, but not like, you know, like just like a nice garlic bread crunch.
Yeah, where like the outside is nice and crunchy, but on the inside it's nice and soft.
Still kind of doughy. Yeah, exactly.
I feel that.
Yeah,
I feel that. Look at us we're a food podcast now. We're talking about salads. We're a health and wellness. We're a health and wellness podcast.
100%.
Along with the food podcast. Yeah. Along with the math, science, and TV podcast.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
Because you know what this is, guys? This is Too High for TV, where two guys get too high and talk about a little bit too much TV. This is episode number 83.
Crazy.
And if you're tuning in for the first time and you're like, what do you guys fucking do? We pick a couple movies, we pick a couple shows, we pick whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah, basically.
And we talk about it. That's anything surrounding the media world in terms of like visual media that you can consume, moving pictures. That's what we're here to talk about.
You know what we haven't done? We have had plenty of conversations about it, but we've never made it the focal point is music.
Yeah, very true.
We should like do an album podcast.
I'm down.
Where we like pick a couple albums.
I'm super down.
And
I love that.
Talk about them as the main point, you know?
I love that shit. I've been listening to a lot of different music lately. Not different, but like rap, but like the subgenres within rap music I've been really just diving into.
I think it'd be fun for you and me as well too, because like I think we could both recommend things to each other that are outside of our regular wheelhouse. You know what I mean?
I will say there are a couple Drake songs where he makes some Spider-Man references.
Give them to me now.
You might like them. No, they are pretty cheesy.
Instant hits.
But he has like one on like a...
Did it record or no?
It was recording.
And then it stopped it?
Yeah.
Son of the bitch.
Son of a bitch. Let's do a quick clap real quick. Ready?
Clap ready, dude.
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
Cool.
Double manly clap.
Take off my Apple Watch because I think that's what it fucking did.
Oh, it started the music?
Yeah.
Freaking Apple Watch.
Yeah, but he has Drake has a song with J. Cole. J. Cole, Drake, Kendrick Lamar heralded as the top 3 rappers of this generation. So whenever you get a couple legends on a song, it's hard to not reference how both of you are legends.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And so he says, I think it's Jake. Is it J. Cole or is it Drake? I can't remember. One of them says like me and so looking at each other is like the Spider-Man meme. So like Spider-Man looking at each other. So not the worst, but also not the best.
Yeah.
But I appreciated it. I was like, okay,
I'm trying.
You know, exactly.
Yeah.
And then Drake in like the newest, he did like a deluxe version of his latest album where he put like 6 new songs on there. And one of the bars he says, "You dudes do your shooting on the web, you're Spider-Man." And I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I fuck with that.
Yeah,
I like it. It's not bad.
Yeah.
Not great, but it's not bad.
Sure.
And I like it. I like me some Spider-Man. I like hearing you dive into the things that I appreciate.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Outside of that culture, maybe.
I don't always get when you talk about going to these super fancy restaurants or like doing these super fancy rich people things.
Not super relatable.
But when you talk about some Spider-Man stuff,
I get it.
Yeah. I get it, and I appreciate it.
I like the second one better because the first one feels like a reference to the meme more than it does like
actual
to
Spider-Man
itself. Yeah. Versus like the other one, it's like, okay, we're shooting on the web or whatever.
You're
that's
Spider-Man.
better. Yeah, exactly.
He also has an Iron Man bar in that same song, I think.
Just a superhero song, huh?
Not really. It's just, I think just you know,
a couple of them.
Just a couple bars.
He's like, fuck it. I have a Spider-Man one in there. Might as well get an Iron Man.
I think he, like the other bar, he says like, my brother's robbing it down, on you juniors. You're Iron Man or something like that. Something like that. So I was just like, okay, I appreciate. I like that. I like
a good one.
Little wordsmith shit going on here. You know,
because that's a meta reference too. Because he's not just talking about Iron Man. You know, he's talking about
Robert Downey.
Exactly. Yeah.
The man who did play Spider-Man Iron Man.
I thought you were being sarcastic first.
No. Imagine if Robert Downey played Spider-Man.
No, I don't think it'd be right. I don't know. Maybe when he was younger, but like I feel like he's just too charismatic to be Peter Parker. Peter Parker has to be a nerd.
Yeah,
at least a little bit.
Yeah,
you know?
Ned, the whole thing that you got going on here, not working for me.
Yeah,
right?
It'd be so weird. Yeah, it's like, hey, it's your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. How you doing?
Yeah, I don't know. I think
I'm still honestly like somewhat just like freaked out by the notion that like the actors that would have played the Avengers in like the 2000s or whatever, because like while it's funny to think about, just sounds awful to me, you know? Like what was it? I think it was like Tom Cruise as Iron Man.
Yeah, I can see that.
Brad Pitt as Thor. Both of those, as much as I enjoy both of those actors, no thank you. Like I do not want to see it.
Yeah,
you can just imagine the type of movies that they would have been had those actors been cast.
I mean, to me, like Brad Pitt playing Thor is like him. He played like what, Achilles in a fucking in a movie.
Yeah, he did. I think
or
it was
Troy. Yeah, Troy or something like that. Yeah. So
I think he was Achilles. Though.
Yeah, I don't think it's like outside of his realm to play a character like that.
Sure, like a mythological figure.
Yeah,
yeah. It's just that like I don't know. That long hair on him in that movie looks bad to me. He's a badass in that movie.
Yeah.
But I don't think he looks very clean.
Yeah.
With the long hair. So just having to watch that the entire time.
Yeah.
And he's swinging around the hammer, maybe talking with like a little bit of an accent. Just I don't know. It doesn't resonate with me.
Did they have like Keanu Reeves as like Doctor Strange or something like that?
I think so. Yeah, that would be kind of funny. I guess.
I'd be down.
I don't know. Again, like to me, they're just more fun castings than they are good ones.
Yeah.
Because like again, Keanu would be cool, right? But it would be kind of ridiculous to hear Keanu spouting the lines that Doctor Strange has to, you know?
Yeah.
Like he's like, the Eye of Agamotto has shown me something in the future of
Dormammu.
Yeah.
I've come to bargain.
I've come to bargain. It's funny in theory, but yeah, I just feel like it would be hilarious. Plus, I can only imagine the type of movies they would have been were they 2000s superhero movies rather than like, you know, late 2000s to like 2010 movies and stuff like that.
I wonder if Patrick Swayze would have been like a...
He was Star-Lord.
Yeah.
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 That actually I wouldn't be mad at, honestly. I feel like a 80s cheesy sci-fi Guardians movie would be kind of fun, you know?
And then if you had like Keanu and fucking Patrick Swayze, or no, wait, fuck, who played? Yeah, that was Patrick Swayze and Point Break.
I was gonna say Wipeout, but yeah,
no,
Wipeout.
Yeah. The fucking ride at fucking the boardwalk.
Yeah.
But just you could also make a super crazy meta Point Break reference. Yeah. Because they already make one in Avengers, you know, by calling
Thor Point Break.
Point Break, yeah. Now if you have Patrick Swayze and Keanu Reeves,
it's like even better.
Oh yeah, it's a way more meta. It's great.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, it'd be funny. It'd be interesting to see. I wouldn't not watch it, but
who would play Black Widow?
Back in those days, probably like Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's who I would probably go with. I feel like she has. I would honestly even say I love me some. I was gonna say Natasha Romanoff. I love me some Scarlett Johansson. But honestly, Angelina Jolie is one that I would actually be excited to see.
Or who plays Elektra in freaking?
Oh, Jennifer Garner.
Yeah, Jennifer Garner.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, she could do it too. I feel like. I don't know, like the one thing that like trips me out, and it's just a choice. They did it with a lot of characters, but I always imagined Black Widow to be like a lot colder of a character than the way she is when Scarlett Johansson plays her.
Yeah.
I feel like she's kind of warm towards her fellow Avengers and stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And she's like, whatever. But yeah, I would like to see like a colder, more like spy, just let me get the job done version of that character. I think it would be cool.
And get her an actual movie that does some good service to the fucking character.
Yeah, I guess. I liked the movie. I thought it was good. I don't think it was terrible.
It's all right.
Yeah. I keep laughing because I'm looking over at those pillows over there, and I know they all say ho, 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 but it looks like it says hole right here.
Oh, yeah, this is the Holes episode,
The Holes
guys.
episode, dude, yeah. Oh, we need to do, like...
Shia LaBeouf.
We just need to do some daytime TV made-for-TV movies in general. Like, we can hit Holes. We got to do, like, Good Burger or something.
Oh, yes, because the second one's coming.
It's coming. Oh, yeah, I thought it was already out, but yeah.
It might be.
I don't know. I'm sure it's not as good as the other one.
I'm so scared, especially when I saw the trailer and there's like Kai Cenat in there and there's fucking Rob Gronkowski and I'm like,
yeah,
like, okay.
It just feels like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I think a lot of the times I can actually be pretty surprised by like the production value of like internet stars. I think sometimes stuff actually looks pretty good.
Yeah.
But there's just like an inherent cheesiness that comes along with the content that they produce where it's like, I don't think that they're like writers, necessarily.
I think there's also a level of like, to me, like not, and I don't know, Kai Cenat might be a fucking really good actor. I think he's super funny. I think he does a lot for just the streaming community, like in general, and making streaming what it is, right? But there is also a level of just like, I feel like they cast someone like that just to bring in that extra, massive young audience that he has, you know?
Yeah.
Which is fine, right? Like get a younger audience interested in a movie that has, a prequel or like, an original to it that's really fucking good that we know about, that we like, but a generation younger than us might not fucking know?
But see, that's the thing that I like, I don't know. I personally think is usually a mistake, because when you are making a project that is pretty much made for nostalgia's sake, right? Like, I don't know, but I don't imagine that like Good Burger 2 has this story that like they just needed to tell.
No,
right?
Oh heck no.
Yeah, so it's like, if you're doing that, like, just market to the people who are gonna come watch it, because then it puts the doubts in the minds of the like fans who grew up with it, because then like you start thinking like, I don't know how it's gonna be, because they're like catering to this like new audience or whatever. So it's like, just go for, what do they call it, your demographic or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah Market to your demo.
Exactly.
Talking like a big old business suit.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I'm down for it, just nostalgia's sake. I love Good Burger. I used to watch that shit all the time when I was a kid. So
I don't really remember it like that much, really, because I think that was one that I probably just watched when it was on at some point on Nickelodeon, but it wasn't one of like the repeats for me.
Oh, it was for me, because my grandma had that shit. Like, out of all the random movies that she had, my dad's mom had at her house, Good Burger was one of them. Nice. It was like Good Burger. She had Toy Story in Spanish. Oh, nice. She had the Little Rascals. She had like random shit, the Power Rangers movie. And like that was one that I always was running back and like watching. Okay. And I referenced that shit all the fucking time.
I think aside from like Drake and Josh, and then maybe like Fairly Odd Parents, in terms of like the movies that would come out, I probably watched more of the Disney ones, I think.
Yeah.
Like, there was a couple of bangers I remember, like, from the Nickelodeon side for sure. But, like, I don't know. The Disney ones just always seem to be, like...
There's a more consistent catalog with the Disney movies versus, like, the
Nickelodeon it's either, like, ones. Really good hit or, like, really big miss.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think there's, like, a lot of middle ground there.
No. Yeah. Super cheese or super good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or sometimes super cheese and super good. Or super cheese and super bad.
Yeah, like, but there's no... Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Where, with Disney, you do have a lot of those, like... those ones that are really good, and then you have those like middle of the ground ones that are serviceable, and you have those ones that maybe aren't.
But there's like a wider spectrum, rather than it's like it's a slow ramp up or down. Yeah,
that's true. But no, Good Burger, I'm always fucking referencing like when the homie's riding with Ed in the car, and he's like, they're only paying you $5 an hour, man. He's like, but I was $10 out. $10, and then it goes over to Ed, and he has like a $10 bill in his hand, and he's like crinkling it by his ear, and he's like, it sounds sort of like, and he just does that shit. And then
oh god, I love it.
There's like the beginning where Keenan Allen. What was that name? What's his name?
Kenan Thompson.
Kenan Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to say Keenan Allen Thompson, but Kenan Thompson. His character, I forget what his character's name is in that movie. See if I can but he's working at like he's like training to work at like Mondo Burger or whatever.
Oh yeah, that's
and they're having like a whole like meeting, and like the dude like Kirk, the manager, he's like, and he's like, you live here now. He's like, Kirk is now your mother and your father. Mm-hmm. And then Kenan Thompson's like, I hate to see what it looks like naked.
Oh yeah, that one I do remember. Yeah.
And then there's the whole like dance scene in the fucking and like the psych ward and like stuff like that, which I think is super fucking dope. Hella random, but I think fits super well in that fucking shit.
Also, I feel his name was Dexter, by the way. That was, I think, just Nickelodeon's brand was random. Like,
yeah, that's true.
Like that was just kind of what they did in general with like all that stuff that was on TV when we were kids, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
There's also the part when he's like reading over the contract. He's like, I know some of these words.
Yeah.
I reference that at work all the time when fucking Evelyn plays a bunch of like Spanish music.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, I know some of these words.
Yeah.
Like when they say like video, I'm like, oh, video. I get it.
I know the ones that sound close enough.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah. Yeah, but that would be a fun one, I think. It's just daytime TV movies. I don't know what we'd call them. I guess that's not really right, but just
I don't know.
Kids channel movies, really.
Yeah,
that's what they were.
Yeah, that's really what they. Yeah, that's what they were. But it was like the child, like the 4 children, was a lot more like the line between like 4 children and like 4 younger adults was definitely like blurred for sure.
And particularly in some of the like in certain shows compared to others too. You know what I was just thinking about that makes me laugh is that like I remember, I don't know if it was like this for like all cable services, but I remember on like whatever we had when I was a kid, it was always 50 was Disney Channel, 51 was Nickelodeon, and then 52 was Cartoon Network. Yeah. And I that's already just a crazy trinity as it is, but it's also funny because the level of that blurred line slowly goes up with each of those channels. It's like Disney's the lowest. Nick, you start to get a little crazy, and then Cartoon Network had some straight nightmare shit sometimes.
Oh yeah,
like,
for sure.
Cartoon Network was hardcore, dude.
But yeah, I loved that too because I also liked it because like
you could just surf.
Yeah, you could surf, and I think also because I watched a lot of SportsCenter and like ABC Family as a kid, and then I think like ABC Family was like 30, and then I think SportsCenter started on like 32 or something, so you can just, like that. Go back and forth. Yeah, so I would go back and forth.
Get stuck on a commercial on one, you check out the other.
Yeah, I watched a lot of Family Matters as a kid. I watched a lot of Full House as a kid as well. I liked that shit a lot. I really liked that shit.
I think I watched a lot. I remember a lot of George Lopez on Nick at Night.
Yep, I watched that too.
I always really liked The Nanny. Did you ever watch that one with Fran Drescher? I loved The Nanny. That was a good one.
I had a fat crush on Fran Drescher.
Oh yeah, of course.
Still do.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, I know that was a good one. Fuck yeah. Oh, what was the one with Tim Allen?
Home Improvement.
Yeah, Home Improvement was always good. Yeah. Yep. Love and Marriage. Do you remember that one?
I never watched Love and Marriage.
No,
I never watched that one.
That one was good too. Yeah. Yeah, that's just crazy, funny, like family sitcoms and stuff that I remember from when we were kids.
Yeah, there was a stint where like me and my family would sit down, and there was a channel. It was called like The Hub or something like that, and it had a lot of like older,
like TV show sitcoms and stuff.
Yeah,
like
older
that.
sitcoms. So there was like Happy Days was on there.
Oh, okay.
Doogie Howser was on there.
Yeah.
Was that like Good Times or something? I forget what it was fucking called, but like another like family based one that was on there. And I liked watching that stuff. I was like, damn, like, I'm down for some the Fonzie, you know, I'm down watching the Fonz. I also really liked Saved by the Bell.
Oh yeah.
My parents showed me that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I really fucking liked that shit. That shit's pretty fire.
Saved by the Bell is when he can like stop time and like talk to the camera, right?
Yeah, breaks the fourth wall, all that shit. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That's a fucking really good one.
I didn't really watch that one too much, but like I've heard and seen thousands and thousands of references to it over the years. It's funny because like tons of stuff from, I think like my phone at this point fortunately knows me very well, so I think it gets that like I'm a kid from that era that liked the stuff that we did when we were kids, but also knows that like our parents showed us stuff from like when they were kids kind of vibe.
Yeah.
But it doesn't know exactly what I've seen, so sometimes it'll just spit a bunch of stuff that like I don't know. But it's still entertaining, because it's, you know, it still hits that like nostalgia button for me.
Has Ev told you how I got her on fucking One Tree Hill.
Yeah, she did actually. I was cracking up because she was telling me that like you're like you should try to get Daniel to watch it, and she was like, no, he's not gonna watch it.
Yeah. Then I stood there, I was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, I think because you've explained it a little bit to me before, and then she was explaining it to me. She was binging hard. She's all sad because, as I'm sure you know, she's going to Mexico.
Yes.
And it was funny because I was talking to her today. We went out to go get coffee before I went to work, and she was like, yeah, I'm gonna go home and like download a bunch of my shows or whatever. And she went on and she called me and she was like, you can't download One Tree Hill on Hulu. I was like, oh. She's like almost done with season 2, I think. She's been binging it hella
that's
hard.
fucking crazy. I saw it the other day and she was like, oh, I'm on episode 5.
Oh, she is a world-class binger. Dude.
Oh, she is.
She's insane.
There should be like a competition and she should enter it because
she'd easily win it.
I trip out. Yeah. I trip the fuck out.
It's wild.
She's just like, oh yeah, I'm freaking out. Yeah. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about?
Yeah. I think it's like she just has the stamina for it. Because like I will like to binge things, but it either has to be something that I really, really fucking want to watch, like Scott Pilgrim, or it has to just be entertaining enough to have like that pull to the next episode.
Yeah.
When it's like really long form, like shows that ran for many seasons and stuff like that, like I think at times there can be like down moments, you know?
Oh yeah.
And like I just don't always have it in me to like hit next episode or something. Like I'm just like, okay, I'm done. Like I watched 2, maybe 3, and then I gotta take a break. Like that's it. Yeah.
But yeah, she got me one day when she was. Did she tell you about it when she was just like, oh, guess what I started watching? I was like, oh, One Tree Hill. She's like, haha, no, I haven't watched anything. And I was like, you fucking suck. You suck. She's actually.
Like, I did actually start watching it.
Yeah. She came back like she was like, oh, I did start watching it. And I was like, you know what? That's what you fucking get. That's what you fucking get.
Yeah, she's heck in love with it. It makes sense. It's a great show. No, yeah, it makes total sense. It's like that, you know, drama, like intense, heavy situation kind of stuff, right?
I was explaining at work, and I think I love drama so much because like I grew up, and I've probably said it a lot on this podcast, but my mom used to watch like soap operas when I was a kid. Yeah. So all of them, like One Life to Live, General Hospital, All My Children. Yeah. All those shits.
Just like the over the top,
exactly.
Hardcore
and stakes. It was like, you know, we just had our family TV when I was growing up, so it was like you're not gonna go watch your cartoons in the background. Yeah, and my mom was just like, hey, you know, like no, this is over in like an hour, so like when this is over, cool, you can, you know. So I just have to sit down and watch it, and then sometimes you're like, fuck.
You get zoned in.
This guy's whose sister?
Yeah, exactly.
What? They're twins?
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Yeah.
So it's like in the line with that. Like I'm sure she's explained to you, like in One Tree Hill, like there's this dude who had like this son and like he just didn't want the son and like completely like left from like his life and now like the son's like in high school and now the dude had like another son with like his actual wife and now they're all beefing and he's like just a super dick to like his first son that he just doesn't like. It's just
hardcore,
super over the top, like dramatic shit.
Definitely. That's, I mean, I can from time to time it's fun, but for me, I think like the closest I've ever gotten to watching something like that is, I would say, like the CW shows, but that's because they were superheroes. Yeah. Like, because I think they were very much soap operas, honestly. Like, they were that, like, super, at a certain point, stupid. Just like
100%.
Twists and turns that just are, like, twisting back on themselves and then, like, retconning stuff and whatever all over the place. Yeah.
One Trill's pretty much Smallville, just not Superman. And Clark Kent plays basketball. And Clark Kent just has a superpower. Clark Kent has a stepbrother. And that's about it. You know.
Yeah. I saw this video today because it just reminded me of Superman. That was like Omni-Man versus Homelander. And like in my head,
demolishes Homelander.
Yeah, in my head I was like, don't lie about this. Like, do it justice, and they did. He fucking wrecks him. It's great. And it's just no way Homelander's
just a big pussy.
Well, the other thing too is it's like the boys' universe is not about like power levels. I don't think either. Like there is certainly the stronger ones and whatnot, but
the power comes from like the public appeal and like you know being popular. Not
it's more like it reminds me of the scene in fucking Game of Thrones where like I forget. I think it's like what's his name, Baelish. Littlefinger, right?
Yeah, fuck that fool.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit. Where he tries to like threaten Cersei, and he's like, "I have power here and this and that or whatever," and then she just like does the overt display of like power or something or whatnot, and like it reminds me of that where it's like, The Boys is very much like political, like celebrity, like subconscious power than it is like I am stronger than you.
Yeah. Because you see it multiple times in The Boys when they're like, when the superheroes are put in situations where they actually have to be superheroes, they're fucking terrible.
They don't do good.
And they don't know what the fuck they're doing at all.
Because they're basically just overglorified celebrities in that shit.
Exactly. They're like if celebrities had superpowers. If fucking sports stars had superpowers.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's what The Boys is.
Yeah. You see all the TMZ shit and like all the crazy mistakes they make. Yeah.
Yeah. And granted, also like with the Omni-Man and like Homelander shit, Omni-Man's also like thousands of years old. That fool's hella old.
Yeah. And
just gets stronger
as
he gets older.
Yeah. So
they're basically all Odin. They're basically all like Norse fucking gods.
Seriously, yeah. The Viltrumites are crazy, bro.
They're fucking nuts, dude.
They're pretty scary. It's cool too, like because we're talking about it. I can't remember if we started recording or not, so forgive me if I'm repeating podcast listeners. But after the mid-season finale, I was fiending, and so like I went and watched a bunch of like just the explained videos of the comic books and shit. And it's just like cool to see how all that plays out too. Eventually, with like their lineage and like the Viltrumites like swaying away from a bad guy that will come later on in the series and stuff like that. Like
and a bad guy who's not necessarily really like a bad guy. Like he's like a bad guy in the sense,
or Thrag.
Yeah,
Thrag. Yeah.
He's more so doing shit to like,
preserve his people.
Yeah,
exactly.
He's not trying to actively be like super terrible.
No, definitely.
But he just is because he's super strong.
But he's very much like a Thanos in that regard, where it's like, okay, yeah, this guy is horrible and uses completely the wrong methods to go about what he's trying to do. But his reasoning is not unsolid.
Well, shall we just honestly, since we're talking about Invincible, should we just jump in to our Invincible talk?
I'm down. Are we setting a timer or?
Since it's a mid-season finale, I think we could just go off on this, and I think there is a lot to go off.
It's worth it. Yeah,
it's so fucking worth it.
Yeah, it was a really good episode. Dude.
It was so good. Happy. I loved the way it started. So we pick up basically
exactly where season 1 ended, pretty much.
Yeah. So Nolan leaves, and we find out like what happened. We saw how lost he became. Yeah. Because of the emotions he was feeling with Mark and everything like that. With Mark saying like, "Hey man, like after 500 years, I would just have you."
Have you, Dad.
It's like one of the
hardcore,
such a great moment.
Good.
And you see, he basically like just goes out into space and just starts roaming all of space, lost, and just like dealing with like his thoughts and everything like that. Which I thought it was nice seeing that from like just actually seeing him go through it rather than him like explain like, I feel so bad. Yeah. Why am I feeling all these things for my kid? I feel like that would kind of take you out of it. So I like seeing just like him roaming. The song in the back obviously adds way more to it. Definitely. Super, super fucking
very, like,
good.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Dude, we've had such a crazy, like, I think superhero movies this year has just been the year of just like this soft rock
genre.
Yeah,
for sure.
I love it,
like
dude.
kind of sad, like emo shit a little bit. Yeah, definitely.
Just like, damn, why is your day going so terrible right now?
No, it's good. I like it too. Yeah.
But I think it's cool. I like seeing him get his fucking full ass beard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's funny. It's also nice too to show like how long he's been out there. Like, motherfucker was drifting in space for a minute. But because
just holding his breath out there too.
I know, seriously, that's true. I forgot that's how they fight in space. It's not like they can breathe in there. It's just like, no, we have super lungs, so we can hold our breath forever. Basically, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I liked it a lot too. And then it gets like super dark. Thank you. You can hit that too again if you want. He starts like fucking at the end of the montage. He's like passing by all these beautifully drawn space settings and stuff like that. But then he just starts like drifting towards a black hole, and he's like, well, fuck it.
Yeah, just ready to end this shit.
Yeah, just doesn't give a shit. And then like very surprising, and I think a good way of again like showing his character in small ways going through the redemption arc that he'll eventually go through, because I think sometimes it's a little bit lackluster, right? When like, or maybe not lackluster, but just old school, where like somebody does one good deed and then they're instantly redeemed, which is like not the worst to me. Like, I don't think it's bad. I think a lot of stuff, like, I still like Darth Vader's redemption story, and that's what it is. He just saves his son, and then that's like, all right, I'm a good guy now, or whatever, which is fun in its old way. But like, we've gotten very like critical, and we zone in on like the logistics of things sometimes now, and so I feel like it's like, well, that doesn't make sense. You can't just do one nice thing and it's over. And so I like that they're like just doing tiny little things of like, he's about to die, and it's not like he has this big like, I am a hero. Like, it's just like an instinct of like, fuck, okay, I guess I'm gonna go stop this ship from blowing up. And he like still has the dead look on his face when he like drops him off and is just gonna leave again, like nothing even happened. Like
takes him home and is gonna leave, and then they're just like, wait, like just stay. Like,
be our king, basically.
And he's like, all right,
I mean, I don't know if I can't remember if he explains it in this or not, or if I'm remembering it from one of those videos we talked about. But like the Thraxans, which is like the bug planet that he goes to, or I think it's called Thraxia, but they're like the Thraxans, right? They like elect their leader based off of who is the oldest. Yeah, because of how short their lifespans are.
I think he might have said it in the show, right? Yeah, because I think they have like a scene where him and Mark are walking. Like he's kind of, he's like, hey, I got to show you something, right? Not necessarily alluding to the thing he has to. No. He's not telling him what he actually has to show him, right? Yeah. But just is like, hey, I got to show you something, and is explaining. And I think that's one of the things he explains. Yeah. So they're like, he was like, I'm hella old and hella strong, and they're just like, hey,
you're should perfect. Be the king. Yeah,
you're actually perfect.
Yeah, for a exactly. Yeah. No, it's crazy too, and it's like, I think a really fun and like trippy type of like alien race to include in like a superhero like space venturing sort of thing, because it's like a trip to see like the conversation that Mark has with I can't remember her name, but the queen basically. They're having a conversation at one point when they're like walking through these caves later, and he's like, it's just crazy, like it all seems so fast, and she's like trying to explain to him like, I understand your confusion, but life is different for us. I feel like I've known him forever, which I have in like the time of my lifespan, right? And like all this shit, and it's like, whoa, that's cool. Like that's a trippy like perspective thing to do.
I started thinking about it like, damn, like because they live like what, like 9 months to like a year or something like that.
Like a year is like a super old.
Like damn, dude, you're up there.
That's an elder right there.
12 months, holy shit, man.
Yeah, exactly.
You're crazy. But I started thinking about it. I'm like, damn, like how long must a day seem like to them, you know?
That's probably like a year or even more, really. Yeah. Right? I mean, who knows? But like, yeah, it's nuts. I mean, because they also explain, right, that like they do develop quicker. Yeah. Like they are super smart from a very young age. They learn how to talk and do all this other shit.
They pick their own fucking names.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because that's how quick their shit goes, basically.
So crazy. Naomi was like, hey, my name's Nualzat. And everyone was
that's what he just said, yeah.
Cool, man.
Yeah, for sure, bro.
Yeah, I guess.
It'd be hilarious.
You could pick a normal name, but Nualzat, cool.
It'd be super funny if like they pulled a joke where like he gets down there, like Mark does, right? And he's like, I've met Nualzat. I'm interested. What are the rest of your names? Like, I'm Tim.
Tim, yeah.
You? Bruce.
This is Becky over there.
Like, yeah, he's a weirdo.
Yeah, that's why we sent him away. We wanted to get him really far away.
We sent him on the mission. That's why. Yeah.
But yeah, I like how I mean, from the source material, how like similar but also like kind of like different it is. Like in the source material, like in the comics, like Omni-Man goes away and seeks out Thraxa, so he can conquer another planet for the Viltrumite empire, versus like in this, like he like more so stumbles upon it because he saves those people, and is like, I guess I'm okay, like I am trying to like turn this new leaf and stuff like that. And the reason why he sends for Mark is because he tells him like, hey man, like by this time, like the Viltrumites know I've left my post, so they're gonna fucking search for me. They're coming for me, so I needed you because I know like you're gonna help me like protect all of these people. Like I know that you won't leave all these people to die.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? And Mark's just like, fuck you, man.
Yeah, he said that so many times. It's great. Yeah,
I love this episode because they said fuck so many times.
A lot. Yeah, it was great. My favorite one was the title card, because eventually the reveal that he is actually talking about what he really does need to show him is that he had a child with the queen or whatever. And
who's yet to be named.
Yeah, fuck. The kid is not, well, we know his name eventually.
I know his name, yes.
But and Mark has a fucking little half brother. Yeah, just like, hey, what's up? No, I haven't seen you in a year, and the last time I did, I tried to kill you, but here's your little brother. Protect him or you're an asshole. It's fucked up, dude.
And Mark's just like, what the fuck, dude? Like, what the hell?
Oh,
what about mom? What about freaking
yeah. That's what I was saying. I loved the title card this time because he goes, are you, or he goes, you gotta be, and then it goes Invincible, and then it's like, fucking kidding me. He still came back for it.
I loved that. I was watching a Screen Crush video, and he was like, that's sort of like a play on like the like MCU Spider-Man stuff. Like there are so many times where they could have dropped the F-bomb and they like cut to like something else.
Well, they do it in the first two movies, right? I think like at the end of the first one's Aunt May. She finds out he's Spider-Man.
Yeah, she goes, what the?
And then it cuts. But I thought
at the end of the second one, I believe it is when like Mysterio like lets everyone know who Spider-Man is.
Oh yeah.
And so he's
Peter
there and he's like, what the?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I don't think they do it in the third one though. I could be wrong.
I think they had to.
Maybe somewhere. Yeah, it had to be a running gag. But
yeah,
there's no
way you don't keep like
that joke.
I don't know if that's like a direct reference to it, but I would like to believe that
it's close.
other comic book properties reference other comic book properties. You know, it happens all the time.
I think it's fun. The one that makes me laugh is it's like there are times, at least in my mind, it could just be because of the things I've watched, so maybe I don't get it. But in my mind, it's like somebody punches somebody like kind of the same as something else, and they're like, the reference is uncanny. And I'm like, what? What do you mean?
Yeah.
Like there's something like that. But yeah, those ones I think are a little bit, they have some evidence behind them, kind of.
Yeah. What I also liked in this episode is like how much we're also getting like of Debbie, right?
Yeah.
And how much she's just like
going
lost,
through
you know? Like we have a nice parallel with like her montage with her walking through,
and
her contemplating like ending her own life and stuff like that,
bridge,
which is super hardcore.
It's so good. Yeah, I like that part a lot. It's cool too because they're like the beginning and the middle of the episode. It's not like they like slap you with it really hard and go back to back. It's like you get that and then like some of the Mark stuff or whatever, and then I think it jumps to like Eve for a little bit because
you have some Adam Eve stuff
down in
there,
this episode. Yeah, and then like halfway through, it's like Debbie's basically going through the same thing right now.
It's nuts, dude.
Yeah, it's good.
But then Debbie fucking bosses up and she's like,
That's great. Yeah.
I'm done with this fucking
Mark
shit.
Hamill comes in, Luke Skywalker, and saves the day,
dude,
bro.
straight up, dude. Because that's what he does. That's what Luke Skywalker does, man.
That is what he does.
He
Even when he's
the
not
day.
Luke Skywalker.
He's just doing Luke Skywalker
Unless he's
shit.
the Joker.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, no, I thought that was great because it's like, I think it's because we're not privy to their life pre-season 1. They don't like really go into a lot of backstory. We're under the same assumption that like Debbie is at the moment. In that moment, I should say, when she's like, you know, fuck, he's gone. I never knew it, blah, 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 like this and that. Which she still, you know, he lied and everything like that. But the realization that like the suit maker, I forget his name. Art, like helps her come to basically is like, dude, Nolan was never here anyway. He was off superheroing all the time.
Yeah.
Like, you basically raised Mark on your own. And the reason why the Earth is not fucked is essentially because of you and Mark. Like, you guys are the reason he didn't destroy everybody or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because of the things you instilled within Mark,
Yeah.
like he was able to stand up to his dad.
Even with her too, because like I don't know if you've looked into stuff that far or not, but the that's not the end of the Nolan and Debbie relationship.
No.
Yeah, so like, you know, that I think had a big deal to do with it as well. But yeah, that's really good, and that's just, those are the parts that like, at this point, now that I've gotten my Invincible action fix over these last 4, and you know they've done some hardcore shit, and Viltrumites are ripping each other's guts out and stuff again, I'm like, okay, now I am happy to see the crazy, emotional, disturbing stuff too.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cool. Like, just let me see somebody punch a face off, and you can do whatever you want. I'll be satisfied for the next few episodes. But yeah, it was really good. It was solid stuff.
Yeah, and I think the Debbie stuff isn't necessarily like, it's not like a super major switch up from like the comics and stuff like that. But I think in the comics it was really like, oh, Debbie's like super like an alcoholic and stuff like that, and it leaned more like on that, and I think rather than like the other things like surrounding it, like you know, like her raising Mark on her own, blah blah blah, all that stuff. It was more so like,
she had to kick the ball.
Yeah, she's an alcoholic, and then now she's not. You know, whereas this, I like that it's sitting with her a lot more, and we're getting to see a lot more of the repercussions that superheroes have on the regular people around them.
Definitely.
You know, which is like, I think something that can be glossed over, or something like, a lot of the times I feel like the regular people that are in the lives of the superheroes are mainly, can a lot of the times be plot devices rather than like characters essential to like their actual story. I mean, you know, like a lot of times like, oh, they got to save the girl, they got to do this, they got to do that. Whereas now like we're getting actual shit like, oh, Nolan did this and he fucked up the whole entire, he was gonna fucking enslave the whole entire fucking world, blah 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 blah. How do you feel after this? And no, it's just like, oh yeah, I would feel pretty fucking terrible.
That's definitely one of the strengths of just like the series in general, is that like it is a family-based affair for the most part, whether that's like friend families or like your actual family and alien families and all this stuff or whatever. It's like you can get into those more personal stakes, because like it's hard to find somebody that can like relate enough and get close to somebody like a person who got frozen in World War II and then showed up 7 years later, or like a magical billionaire who can build anything with the smartness of his brain. Like, there's not a good cast of characters to put around that. Like, I don't know. It's like superstars versus like a good team, you know?
Yeah.
Like sometimes you can set up a team with just like the one guy and the rest are like weak links or whatever. But arguably a good team through and through is better.
Yep.
But yeah, I liked it a lot, and I thought it was pretty sick. Like I said, I was fucking ecstatic to finally get some hardcore action again, because like that is just part of the big appeal, I think, of the show too. Is it's like also the more realistic effects of superheroes punching each other in the gut. Right? Like when you see Superman, like, or even Spider-Man, like stop a train, but then like punches a guy. It's like, don't worry, he's pulling his punches. It's like, okay,
that's what I'm saying. Sure. Spider-Man would have straight up kill some. Like he wouldn't actively kill somebody, right?
No.
Spider-Man's not going out to kill somebody.
Yeah.
But if you were to just punch someone full force, that person's dead.
He certainly could. Yeah.
Person is dead.
I think like a lot of that was one of my favorite parts of the first season, which is like a lot of superheroes are just, when they get their superpowers, they also inherit like this insane level of control to be able to like punch at exactly the right strength that they need, whether it's like street level goons or like big alien bad guys, right? But this was good because it's like, no, your strength is up here, you operated down here for the last 17 18 years of your life. There's gonna be an adjustment. Like in the, like one of the craziest things to me is like the first person he tries to save, he fucking snaps in half because he's like moving too fast and is like too strong and shit like that, right? Like back in the first season. And it's just, it's good because it's like, I feel like it is very gruesome, and it can be, I think, a little bit like indulgent at times for sure, but for the most part it has like purpose, I think, within the story, because it's like the other one I just mentioned, right, like is about like adjusting to that stuff. Even in this, it's like Nolan tells him in the middle of the fight, like, hey, you're fighting like a superhero right now. You're fighting like you're on Earth. These people are going to kill you, me, and all of these other innocents if you don't chop their fucking head off, because that's what they're going to do to you. So fight like a Viltrumite, bro. Like, it's good. It's not just gruesome for the sake of gruesomeness. It's like the Viltrumites are these terrible, horrible warriors that like have conquered the entire universe, basically. So if you want to take one down, you're going to have to spill their fucking guts.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's hardcore.
Yeah, and that's why this episode was so great, is because we've like had superhero versus superhero stuff, which is cool. You know, we had Superman versus, or not Superman, we had Omni-Man versus the Immortal. I fucking names up today, but it's all good. But we had Omni-Man versus the Immortal, and that was cool. That was a good one. That was a good one, but like very quickly we see the different level that they're on because of the lengths that Nolan is willing to go because of where he comes from. Yeah. And getting to see a killer versus a killer,
it's crazy.
Oh my,
it's way more
intense. That was nuts. Like the fights were so intense where I was just like, I mean, obviously I know it happens, but it's just like, it's just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Actually getting to see it like animated out and like play out was like, good. Oh my goodness. It was fucking amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. Yeah, I was, and I liked too that they haven't abandoned like the just realistic stakes of stuff, right? Because like a city block blows up. I mean, Man of Steel kind of did it, right? But like a city block blows up and like 12 people die. Everybody else somehow made it out miraculously, though, and it's totally fine. But that's obviously still a big deal. Like, you don't want 12 people to die. But in this, it's like Nolan takes a break for 2 seconds to go help Mark and like his wife and other kid, and they come back and like whole civilization ruined because like that's how crazy the Viltrumites are.
Exactly.
They all got killed. So it's like, damn, fuck, you can't turn your back for even a minute. And then I'm also, it made me very nervous too, because it's like, upon watching all of those videos and stuff of like future events to come, it's like, oh man, this is baby stuff compared to how hardcore shit gets.
Super
like,
baby.
It's bad. This is already hard to watch.
Super baby.
And this is nothing yet. Yeah, it's pretty intense.
It's for sure going to be one of the most like gruesome superhero shows I think to ever come out, for sure. Like easily. Like The Boys does some crazy shit, but I think that's more so like I think it's more gruesome for shock value's sake.
Yeah.
Rather than like showing like power levels in a fucking
in a fight.
Yeah. Whereas like when you have like, you know, like when we get to shit like Conquest or like Thrag. Shit's gruesome because you realize how fucking strong these peoples are and how much they do not hold back.
It's also, I think, like the medium of it too, right? Because like, don't get me wrong, like live action special effects can look very, very intense and like fuck you up, but you can draw way crazier shit.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So the fact that it's animated and like how intensely shit happens when somebody does get like fucking impaled or like punched across the jaw and shit is just fucking crazy, bro.
Yeah, you have fucking the dude fucking Lucan holding his fucking guts together,
his shirt, like they're
and
fucking
freaking flying down and fucking breaking fucking Nolan's back. Yeah, that's crazy.
Hardcore. Yeah, that shit was intense, dude. Just the splitting of the guts too, and then just like impaling him with a rock and just like, let's go.
All right, he's dead.
There's 2 more. We're not done. Let's keep going.
Dude, I like Nolan's just fucking
his swipes.
Dude, his just fucking hand swipe and just
a sword hand, bro.
Dude, oh my, like what? Like it reminds me of like did you ever watch the Cirque du Freak movie?
No, I don't think so.
So Cirque du Freak, the I'm pretty sure I've talked about it on this podcast, but I think it was a while ago.
Yeah.
So like it's based, so like the Cirque du Freak books written by Darren Shan, right? It's about like vampires and shit like that. You have good vampires, you have bad vampires, but the vampires basically fight like their nails. They grow out their nails really long, and because their nails are so like tough, they sharpen them into like knives and shit, and that's how they fight. They just fight with like doing that and freaking shit like that. So that's what that shit reminds me of. I'm like, damn, like Soul just has a crazy like just strong hand and just can slice through whatever.
It's bad. Yeah, it's pretty intense. And it also, again, like it's not real, but it kind of makes sense in like a like superhero world.
I would think so. Yeah, I would think so.
Like a closed fist is gonna do blunt damage. A straight one is gonna be like slashing damage or stabbing. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you see, that's like the Viltrumite like
signature.
Yeah,
they're always impaling people. Yeah.
We saw it in was the last episode with Alan when freaking the chick with like the super long hair. I think Thola is her name or something like that.
Yeah.
She freaking does that to Alan.
Yeah.
And freaking nuts, dude.
Hardcore.
This was a super hardcore episode.
Definitely.
I'm glad that we got it.
It's nice to see. Well, I mean, I don't know. For those who don't want to be spoiled, I won't say his actual name, but it's nice to see the beginning of Nolan's other son, Mark's half brother.
Exactly.
That's gonna be cool. I'm excited to see that play out and everything eventually.
He's a hardcore character too.
Oh yes, definitely.
On some like Damian Wayne type fucking 100%, vibes.
100%. Yeah, I totally agree. That is exactly a great comparison. Yeah, but it's cool, and I think it's like it's exciting too because the like Angstrom Levi stuff for me was not really setting up the dominoes in a way that was like satisfying to me. This is like, oh shit, I know where all this is going. I mean, I know where the Angstrom Levi stuff is going too, but this is just like much more immediate and like, oh damn, this is about to go down. Like, this is coming.
The stuff they've laid down for the Angstrom Levy stuff isn't like as clear as the stuff that they laid down for this whole Viltrumite shit going down. Because by the end, you have like, you know, when they all get knocked out, Mark gets knocked out, get the shit beat. Like he basically gets stabbed by Thola's like hair sword, which is super cool fucking dope. Yeah. Because he's literally not willing, like by the end, to kill her, off, you know, and she sees that as an opening. She's like, haha, motherfucker, stabs him.
Yeah.
And then Nolan gets his back broken by fucking Lucan, who's holding his freaking guts in his freaking stomach.
Yeah.
Hardcore.
Yeah.
And so they basically all get knocked out. When Mark comes to, he sees that, you know, the Viltrumites are there. They taken Lucan, who's probably just going to get, you know, repaired back up. And they took Nolan. And they're like, we're going to execute this motherfucker.
Yeah.
And Nolan's just like, hey, man, like, read my books. Don't forget about, like, blah, 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 all this shit.
Yeah.
And then by the end, we have General Krieg, who comes that we've seen. If you don't know who General Krieg is, you know, and you want to know who.
Clancy Brown.
Yeah, Clancy motherfucking Brown. But he's basically, like, the right-hand man to Thrag.
Yeah.
And so it was crazy as just, like, a fan of the comics getting to see him at the end. I was like, holy fuck.
Like, we're close.
I was like, no fucking way.
Sorry,
I wouldn't say we're like super close to Thrag, but we're like closer. We're closer for sure. We're like, you know, we're in that vicinity.
The other thing too that I this might be wishful thinking, but I would like to imagine is that the series, the TV show, is not going to take as long to get through everything as the comic book does. Yeah, because I think the comic book is like almost 200 issues or something like that. Like it's pretty long, and I don't think that they're going to go that route. I don't think they're going to try to stretch it out for like 10 seasons.
No.
Like, I think like max that I would like is like Dude in 5, maybe 6, you know, like they've already shown us that they can merge events from like things that don't come till later and like make it smooth. So just get to the good stuff.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
like why wait? You know, just start moving.
It's just crazy though, because like in like the world of like the comics, like this shit spans like decades. Like it spans so much. Like it spans so much fucking time, which is actually crazy. At
the beginning of the series, Mark is 18, and I think by the time the stuff with Thrag gets resolved, he's like maybe in his 30s, I think.
Yeah.
But then the entirety of where they go with the end of his story, he's like Viltrumite old.
Yeah.
Like he starts to get very, very old.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's insane.
Yeah. But then you also got like timey-wimey shit going on. You got characters stuck in places for like hella long, and then they come back and it's only been, you know,
a little bit of time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
But so like at the end of like the episode, like what I was talking about before, like they set like the stage for the Viltrumite stuff a lot better than the Angstrom Levy stuff. Yeah. I think once the Angstrom Levy stuff is all said and done, and it'll be cool. And I think once we look back on it, then we'll understand, like for people that don't know where it's going, right? And once they get there and then they go back, I think they'll understand like the early shit that happened.
Yeah. But
they definitely set the stage for the Viltrumite stuff better, especially with General Krieg being like, "Hey man, so we're impressed by you. Yeah, the shit you did was pretty cool.
You survived a real battle, son.
Yeah. So shout out to you.
Yeah.
And hey, since we're gonna execute your dad, you're actually gonna take over for him, and you're gonna go to Earth, and you're gonna take over that shit.
You're gonna conquer.
Yeah. And we're gonna come back and check on you. Yeah. And if shit's not how we say it should be, we're gonna
do it our way,
and we're gonna kill everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that is like, you know, it's very much in your face, him telling you like, hey, this is what you have to do, and if you don't do it, we're gonna come there. But I think after getting the display of the Viltrumites, it's
way more scary.
It's way more scary because you're like, holy shit, like all you guys are gonna come.
Them up. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
3 of them. It was hard for Nolan to take out like 3. It took Nolan and Mark to take out 3 of them.
Yeah,
and he still didn't really take out 3 of them.
The great Nolan too.
Yeah,
like he's like a.
This is the great Nolan.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's like a famed like warrior among the Viltrumites, which, you know, if for good reason. Like, to be fair, he hella got fucking sideswiped by Homeboy. Like, he pretty handled at the other 2 without taking too much damage, you know. But I don't know. I'm just so excited because like Angstrom Levy stuff is cool. That gets us to the multiverse. That gets us all of the marks, and that stuff is fun. But like, to me and everything that I've seen in videos and stuff like that, the main meat and potatoes of Invincible is Invincible and like the few good Viltrumites and like Earth heroes against the Viltrumite Empire. Yeah, that's the good shit. That's the crazy shit.
The Angstrom stuff is just important for like Mark's character because it like takes him to that like extra step. Like there is a place that he has to get to in order to fight all these Viltrumites that he doesn't get to without like the shit that Angstrom Levy like puts him through. I think even like morally too, because like to get into a tiny bit of spoilers for those of you who don't want to know, don't listen. Spoilers. The stuff that goes down with Angstrom Levy at one point puts Mark in, I think, a different category of superhero that we're not used to seeing, which is that like by the end of it, Mark is wholly willing to just kill his enemies. Like turns into a Nolan for good. Like he's not just like killing for the fuck of it, and he tries to minimize casualties, but he's like, yeah, if I'm gonna go up against a bad guy who's threatening me and my family like until the day I die, you're gonna die, bro. Yeah,
like,
exactly.
That's it.
Yeah,
which is hardcore. Like, but again, like you said, like it's a certain step that he needs to take in order to defeat somebody like Thrag at some point, or
Conquest.
The various, exactly, different Viltrumites that he faces. So it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, crazy episode. We also got some shit with Douglas. I think that's his name.
Oh, Donald.
Donald.
Yeah.
Yes, where he figures out he is
a robot,
a clone,
something or other.
Yeah, and he's freaking out, man.
Yeah,
he's
definitely.
Freaking the fuck out.
As you would if you saw yourself blow up on a video somewhere.
Yeah. I would fucking.
You try to shank yourself.
I would freak out.
Knife bends, bro. Like, it'd be pretty hardcore.
And then you have Eve going home, which I don't know how that's gonna fucking work out. Her dad fucking sucks, so I don't,
Yeah.
Granted, she did go through some shit where she, wasn't sure if she wanted to be a superhero.
Yeah.
tried to do some superhero shit. Some people almost died because she was
goes
pretty
on a rampage more than she does like superhero shit.
Yeah, pretty much just like wants to fight fucking what's the fool's name? Like cannon, like arm cannon or something like that. Lame, and it's just like just wailing on him.
Yeah, seriously.
And almost gets these people killed because she's just very reckless with like how she's defending herself and taking other people into consideration and stuff like that. So
depending on how it resolves, I think it's a good setup. Because, I mean, I think she's right, and I think eventually she'll come to the realization that she's right of, like, no, she can do good with her powers. Of course she can. But I think she already... There's been a slow build-up to this, I think, where it's, like, more and more things are happening when she's trying to do good deeds that are coming back to bite her in the ass.
Yeah.
And so I think she's just, like, starting to give in to, like, the lies that her dad is hitting her with all the time. And so it's hard for her to... not just go home or something, not want to be in the childhood home and shit.
Her dad's such an ass, though.
Oh, yeah, he's the worst.
Her dad's the worst fucking person ever.
You also have to remember, too, these are like 17 and 18-year-old kids.
Yeah, that's
They're
true.
like still babies, So it's like if you're thrust with all this power and all, you're trying to do good, and your dad's telling you every time you do bad shit, or you try to do good shit, bad shit happens. And then the next 2 or 3 good things you try to do, bad shit happens. You're like, fuck, maybe dad was right.
Yeah, that's true.
Like they're not, I think it's interesting because like the way they're drawn, they don't always look like the 18-year-old. They look like comic book superhero 18-year-olds, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like hard to remember sometimes that like they just graduated high school. Like they're super kiddish.
Mark just lost his virginity before he went to space.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like they're still going through the early adult stuff that happens after high school and whatnot.
Hell yeah. What would you rate this episode of Invincible?
Honestly, it's hard to not just say like 5 out of 5. I'm only going to say 4 out of 5 just because like, I don't know. There was like a little bit of wasted time to me with like the Mahler twins. And like, I think the Eve stuff could have definitely been a different episode.
Yeah.
Whereas like, I would have rather spent more time on either the Debbie or like the Nolan and Mark stuff. Because it did feel like very split. But yeah, other than that, like it's hard to not just say straight up 5. Like it was pretty damn good.
Yeah. I think I would say like 4 out of 5 as well. Because I agree. Like I do, like I liked the Eve stuff. I thought it was good, but yeah, it did feel like a little out of place at times, like
especially with everything else going on in the episode.
Yeah, like I think cutting in between like the Mark, the Nolan, and then like the Debbie stuff was good because I think they mirrored each other. Like they're both the situations are fairly similar.
Yeah.
The again, like you said, like the Eve stuff just didn't belong. I don't think it belonged in this episode. It was kind of random.
Yeah,
to me.
like I still want to see it, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't want that character arc to be ditched, but when it's the mid-season finale and I'm going to have to wait like probably anywhere from 4 to 5 months until I get more Invincible, like just show me Viltrumites and like
true.
Or Debbie or whatever, like go big with it. Cause yeah, I mean, like again, we were talking about this beforehand, I think, which is like, I think it's very clear that like the statement that they put out of like, no, this was a planned thing. We were always going to cut it in half is clearly like not super true. Like it is good enough of a cliffhanger thing, but I don't think it was designed that way because of the extra stuff that happens in it,
I think it's also just such a random thing to do to market it as like, oh, like, yeah, you need like a break in between this, cause it's just like, it's also like, we're 4 episodes in. Like it's not long. Like it's not like an anime where it's
gonna be
like
26 to 30 to maybe even more.
Yeah. Or like I was telling you beforehand, like Walking Dead, like like they had mid-season finales all the time, but it was like on the 11th or 12th fucking episode.
And also too, that's something you expect when you're watching live television. Like the benefit of streaming is supposed to be that it's all ready at once. Like they've started to do this like week by week thing. But you still know in your head, like, well, they're just doing that to make it feel like TV. All 12 episodes are done, or all whatever episodes are done. But not this time. They got to finish it. It's not ready yet.
It's all good.
Yeah.
It was like a good place to have a mid-season finale.
Yeah.
Like, I think a big enough event happened to where, like, it didn't, like, I didn't feel
like cheaped out.
I didn't feel cheaped out of like, oh yeah, here's this episode and then we're gonna be gone for a while.
Yeah, definitely.
Like if it was like a very like a fillery episode, and then it was just like a little bit of action at the end and then like, hey, peace out, we're out of here. I would have been pretty fucking pissed. But We got a good episode. Good. We got a good episode. I can't complain.
No, definitely not.
I am just sad that, on Thursday, I'm not going to be able to watch.
Nothing anymore. There's nothing on right now. Huh?
Fuck.
Yeah.
Shit, man.
I do like the theory, and it's also why I was saying that, like, I do think that they're going to move a little bit faster with the show, is that the background that is slowly getting revealed over the course of the episodes on the title cards is very reminiscent of his black and blue suit.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
So if he gets that and, like, the events of the story line up in terms of, like, where they relate to the timeline in the comic books, they're moving pretty quick.
Oh,
if
yeah.
he ends up with that suit by the end of this season, then they're for sure jumping some stuff.
Well, I mean, I already thought they were moving super quick with, like, him meeting his dad and everything, like, by the third episode.
Right.
I was like, I was tripping out. I was like, damn, like, we have already
But
gotten
like
here.
you said, too, it's like a lot of the stuff that did happen in between, they already covered in season 1.
Yeah.
So, like, they didn't really need to go through it or, like, have a break or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, I would totally be down for that because, like, as much as I do want to read the series, it is a little daunting because I think it is, like, if each volume is 10 issues, which I think that's how it works, there's like 26 volumes. So that's like 260 issues to read, which granted, comic books are not very long, but that's a lot of shit.
Yeah, it's a lot of shit
to get through. Yeah.
Yeah, it's thick, bro. And there's a lot of shit that happens, but it's good. It's a fucking good ass series.
I'm excited to see it play out.
That's why I'm thankful for YouTube videos, man.
Yeah, seriously. I know.
Yeah.
I'm such a fiend. If there's a source material that I can go and like know everything that's going to happen, I'm like, all right, let me just become a fake fan really quick.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Let me just like
Exactly.
hyperspace my way to like longtime fan as quickly as I can.
Hey man, I've been a fan forever.
Forever and
forever.
ever.
Forever. I will say I can't wait till we get the Invincible like black and blue suit.
Yeah, I like the original color scheme better, but I don't think that the other one looks bad.
I like the black and blue. I personally was never a big fan of like the black, blue, yellow look. I think it's a little too much for me personally. I'm a big fan of just like the two color scheme.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
like it looks like the Omni-Man red and white, super fucking solid.
Yeah, that one's good.
I think the Immortal gets away with it because like I think the white that's in there are more like accent
Lines,
colors
definitely.
versus like big portions of it. But like with the Invincible suit, you have a lot of portions that are yellow, a lot of portions that are black, and a lot of portions that are that blue. Yeah, and I'm kind of just like but the black and blue I think looks fucking sick to me.
Yeah,
I like that shit.
think it's a good like visual narrative device because it's very obviously a darker suit, not just in color but in like appearance too. Like he looks more intense when he's in that suit, and that's when the story gets really fucking dark. So it makes sense. And like I actually saw this funny thing that was like I think his name's Robert Kirkman, right? The writer. Like when he was writing the comic book, he had a feeling that like people were going to be divided on it. So like super meta, somebody asks him like, new colors, huh? And he's like, don't worry, you'll get used to them. Some shit like that. Yeah. So I imagine they're probably going to do some form of that in the show as well. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Invincible, go and watch that shit on Amazon Prime.
The best fast forwarding and rewinding service in the business. I feel like that needs to be their marketing.
It really does because like streaming services, that shit sucks. Like
it's annoying.
Trying to rewind and like it's terrible.
I miss an actual rewind. I don't always like. I do. It works for me sometimes. Like it works really well on YouTube for me, but like the 10 seconds back or 15 seconds sometimes like back and forth it's sometimes kind of annoying because something either just happened and I want to rewind, and so I'm like, fuck, all right, let me wait a second before I press the button, or it's like way far back and I'm like click like trying to go back, and then it lags and catch up. So
exactly,
just let it rewind like normal. Just you start to go back.
Exactly. What if I gotta go back 6 secons? Now you're limiting me.
I have to click twice and wait another 4 seconds.
Yeah.
You know how valuable that time is?
It's just fucked up. But dude, I've thought the same thing so much. But yeah, Amazon, the best fast forwarding and rewinding service on planet Earth.
That's right. In the galaxy. Oh, cool. It's a big galaxy. We don't know.
Yeah. There could be a better one on Saturn. Who fucking knows?
Who knows?
But just the moon. Just because I know what's immediately occupied. By.
They definitely don't got Amazon up there.
They definitely don't.
No way.
They definitely don't.
No way. Yeah, it was good shit.
Do you need another drinky drink?
I'm down. Yeah. Are we gonna move into our next two?
So,
how do we talk about it?
1, 2, 3, 4.
We are sex, baba. We're here to make you think about death and get sad and stuff.
Do you want original or raspberry?
Is there options for both? Like, are you gonna be able to have either of those flavors, or is it just those two?
Yeah.
I'll try a raspberry.
Try raspberry?
Yeah, that sounds good.
That's cool.
Why not?
Cool.
Have we had this one before?
I have. I don't know if you have. I think I might want to razz it up too, low key. I think I might want to razz that shit up. Some W razz.
Sometimes
right
you
here.
gotta razz it up, man.
Instead of Riz, some Raz.
Razz it up, dude. Yeah.
Some W Raz right here, bro.
W razz, man.
Instead of W Riz.
Chug. Yeah, I did. I don't think there wasn't like half, but there's a little less than half.
But yeah, how are we gonna want to just talk?
I feel like we can kind of just talk about them both at the same time, but we
I'm
can
down.
start with one or the other.
I would like to start with just regular Scott Pilgrim. I think the
movie?
first,
Okay,
the movie,
Let's do it. I'm down.
because I do like the changes that happen from the movie to the show.
Yeah, me too.
And the show differs from the source material as well. From what I have heard, I have not read the source material. I'm a fake fan, but that's what we are up here at TH4TV.
I gotta read them too. That was actually one of the things I was banking on finding a deal on. Hopefully, was I wanted to try to order those books.
Yes,
because I'm sure they have a compilation of them at this point. Like a big box set of them all or something.
you have to.
I actually didn't know this, and I tripped out, and I may have already mentioned this, but the books only had 4 of the issues out when the movie released, out of a 6-issue series.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I don't know if that means that it was a George R.R. Martin situation, or if the ending was like completely different and he didn't tell him shit. So I don't know. I don't know how the book series ends, because I haven't looked it up yet. I haven't even watched a video. I'm being a super duper fake fan.
Yeah, I think from what I have heard, they end fairly similarly.
The book and the movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like the show takes the biggest deviation from from the source material and the movie.
Okay, yeah. Shall we get into it? 2010's Scott Pilgrim
versus the World.
Yeah, directed by Edgar Wright.
Edgar Wrong.
That was a funny joke. I love that one.
Dude, they fucking were shitting on the movie in the show.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it was because I don't know. I think that actually I was gonna mention this with Invincible earlier too, which is that I think we sometimes forget that people who make stuff can also be young and then grow from there. Because I noticed it with this movie, and I also noticed it with Invincible in the comics versus the show now, which is essentially the same thing is happening. In terms of the sub narrative and the themes of what they're talking about. But there's almost a not straight childish, but a younger view on it that's very just over the top. In this, it's lots of gay jokes and lots of just
I'm a lesbian with you.
Yeah, what's the surface level readings of it, right?
There's a lot of hitting women in this freaking...
Yeah, seriously, yeah. And then the creators of this stuff, again, we don't really think about this, but they grow up and they mature. And so in special cases like this, where they get a chance to come back to it, they can revisit what they did, point out some of the stuff that they maybe didn't do so well, expand on it, change it, grow it, whatever it might be. And it's very cool to see.
Well, that was a big thing with that I think Robert Kirkman made a point of, was let's cheers.
Cheers'em. Made with Invincible, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Close this real quick.
She's loose.
She's loose. She's a loosey goosey. But I think he came out and said it was just yeah, dude, a lot of the shit that I put in Invincible originally, probably not great. Probably not the best thing to put in there. So I'm actively changing this shit going on.
Definitely.
Like I said last week, with Alan's girlfriend,
yeah,
right? In the In the comics, she was literally just there for Alan to like have sex with. That's literally just what she was.
Yeah.
But in this, like, they actually have like a relationship. She's actually an important character to like the coalition and stuff like that. So she has more shit to do, you know?
Same thing with the Debbie stuff too. It's like, as if before you just focus on like the alcoholic mom aspect. It's like, yeah, she drinks a lot of wine in like the first episode or two, but that's it. And then like the rest of it is the actual shit going on with her.
Yeah. They never make the like, the alcoholism thing is like there for sure, like in the show, but they never like, it's more there for the viewer to infer and like make their own
assumptions about what's happening.
Rather than them being like, oh, Debbie,
She's
you're drinking so much lately, you know?
Exactly, yeah.
But yeah, so if you have not seen Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, what
are you doing, man?
Yeah, you better go fucking watch that shit.
But spoilers.
Really fucking good. Yeah, spoilers if you have not watched this, but it's from 2010, so it's 13 years ago. So is this really spoilers?
Yeah.
Nah, not really.
Probably not.
So Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, directed by Edgar Wright, starring Michael Cera and Mary Elizabeth Winstead and a whole bunch of other people that I will name later.
Tons, yeah.
Yes, as a bass guitarist for a garage rock band, Scott Pilgrim, played by Michael Cera, has never had trouble getting a girlfriend. Usually the problem is getting rid of them. But when Ramona Flowers, played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead, skates into his heart, he finds she has the most troublesome baggage of all, an army of ex-boyfriends who will stop at nothing to eliminate him from her list of suitors.
That's not a terrible description, but it's not also great either.
No, yeah. They never have like the best descriptions.
No,
at all. Let's see what IMDb
has for it. There's always a few on these.
I feel like sometimes IMDb is like even worse.
It can be, but what you have to do is you have to actually go into the description section and read all of them. Because sometimes the one that they have right on the front is not the best one.
So where's the description
right
section?
I know it's on the phone version for sure. Let me see. Let me look up.
Because, in this right here, it just says, in a magical, realistic version of Toronto, a young man must defeat his new girlfriend's 7 evil exes one by one in order to win her heart.
Yeah, see, that one's weird. Okay, yeah, see, so look, it has the same one on front there. But then there's 2 more that are done by like fans, I guess, like users of the website and stuff like that.
Wow.
Which I like, because sometimes they're going to come up with something better than that, like a short little tagline.
Dang, do they have?
Maybe go where was it at up there? I tapped on the actual description that read up there, like the magical one or whatever.
I like this.
Oh yeah, see, there you go.
Scott Pilgrim plays in a band which aspires to success. He dates Knives Chow, a high school girl 5 years younger, and he hasn't recovered from being dumped by his former girlfriend and now he's success with her own band. When Scott falls for Ramona Flowers, he has trouble breaking up with Knives and tries to romance Ramona. As if juggling 2 women wasn't enough, Ramona comes with baggage, 7 ex-lovers, each of whom Scott must do battle to the death in order to win Ramona.
That's a good description of the movie.
I like
That's better. Yeah, that's way better.
Yeah, so immediately there's some sketch shit going on. Scott Pilgrim is 23 and he is dating a 17-year-old.
Yeah.
Pretty fucking sketch.
It's kind of crazy because they certainly make it a plot point in the anime as well. But the fucking opening of the movie is like, Scott Pilgrim is dating a high schooler. And I was like, whoa, what the fuck? I do not remember this being that hardcore in your face.
I think I remember it being like that. Because I remember watching it for the first time and being like, damn, this fool's dating a high school chick?
Oh,
this
is
crazy.
No, yeah. It's like, because like I do remember it being a problem. And I remember the jokes about it and stuff. But it kind of surprised me that like the opening dialogue of the movie,
Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, and even the conversation they have afterwards is like him sitting around like trying to brag about it and stuff, and basically all of them like clowning him like, you're a fucking idiot, Scott, like you're being dumb. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. It tripped me out.
I will say I do like that at least his homies clown on him. At least the people around him like clown on him and like
call him out for sure.
Yeah,
except for young Neil, but he's a dumbass.
Yeah, young Neil's he's also like 20. So it's
that's true. It doesn't make sense to him. Yeah, he just got out of high school or some shit. Yeah, no, definitely. I feel like Steven is like also a little bit dumb, but still like clowns a bit, and then Kim just straight rips into him, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, Steven's more so worried about just the band and everything that, and like
that's
getting the band like
only
success.
Priority,
yeah, and it's even more so prevalent in like the anime and stuff like that. Like in the anime, he's really like all about just like writing songs and coming up with songs like about everything, and they're like, Steven, now is not the fucking
cut
time.
it out, man. That's enough.
But yeah, this original movie, honestly, I remember the first time watching it, I fucking loved this shit. I thought each of the actors in this was awesome. Obviously, it's fucking star-studded. You have Michael Cera, you have Mary Elizabeth Winstead, you have Chris Evans, you have motherfucking Aubrey Plaza, you have Anna Kendrick, you have Kieran Culkin, you have fucking Jason fucking Schwartzman. Like, what the fuck? Ellen Wong. Like, fucking crazy. Like, a star-studded ass freaking cast. For what? For no fucking reason. For what fucking reason? No fucking reason.
Just because it's awesome.
Yeah, and they all do absolutely amazing. And it's like, to me, this was like someone like a Chris Evans, like this was a very different role that I was used than I'm used to seeing him in. Yeah. So it was nice seeing him in something like that. Yeah. Granted, I think in the movie he isn't done like as much justice as he is done in like the anime.
Definitely not.
But he does great for the fucking movie. I think what the movie is like, he does fucking phenomenal. His character of Lucas Lee is fucking hilarious, and like him and like the eyebrow thing that he does all the time is fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah, I think in general the biggest upgrade in the anime is that in this one, I think most of the characters, even the main characters, can be pretty one-dimensional and have, like, I'm not going to say unsatisfying, but just very quick character development. Like, shit just sort of happens for them, like we were talking about earlier, you know, where it's, like, not a lot of events leading up to it. It's, like, lots of fun, crazy, hardcore, some of the coolest stylized action in a movie. And then at the end, like, you know, Scott's a good guy again, or whatever.
Yeah, a lot of, like, the motivations seem very shallow. Like, they're not, like, you know, it's like Scott's is very basic. He's like, oh, he has to win the girl, and he has to defeat all the exes and stuff like that. Like,
and all the exes are just typical bad guys. Like, they sort of kind of get into each of their backstories, but when they do, there is very much the lens of it's a villain's evil backstory. Not the backstory of Ramona and that person as a couple of various different degrees at some point.
Even Ramona's development, like, in the movie, for as much as, like, she's in the movie, like, she doesn't really, I don't even really like she develops much from, like, the beginning to the end.
No, it's the same thing where it's just at the end, she's kind of like, well, I guess I learned my lesson. I gotta stop running away from stuff or something. And then that's kind of it. And
she's more of, like, a plot device in the movie versus, like, an actual
the main character of the show.
Yeah.
I think she's the main character, honestly.
She is the main character
in the show. Yeah, she's great.
The show is called Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, and he legit takes off,
bro. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so yeah, that was my only thing with like this movie when I was watching it a second time is like visually it's stunning. I think a lot of the music is fucking great. A lot of the acting is great, but yeah, a lot of the stuff does seem one-dimensional. Like Knives, like even after like her and like Scott break up, like her whole motive is to just like fuck up Ramona because she just like loves Scott. You know, there's not much to that. Like even all the other characters, like Kim doesn't really have any motivations in the movie other than just like she's there, she's part of the band, and she just like gives Scott shit a lot of the time. But it's like, I don't know, like it just fits the movie, so it's like I'm not mad at it.
That's what I was gonna say. Is like it's not out of place because of the type of movie it is. Like it's not. Even it's weird because like, and they make a joke about it in the series, but like even though they are the same story, they're not trying to be the same thing. Like this one is pretty much like about the style more than it is like the story. And it's not a bad thing because the style in this movie fucking oozes awesomeness. Like it's so incredible to look at the entire time. I lost my shit when I watched it this time because like I have not seen it in a long time. And like the editing in this movie is immaculate. It's insane that they did it in 2010. It looks really good.
Yeah, the editing is great. A lot of the effects look really good.
Beautiful.
Like the effects for like all his sword at the end and like Ramona's freaking
the big old hammer.
Her big hammer and like all the stuff they do with like the music is really fucking awesome. Like that's one thing I texted you when I watched like the first few episodes of the show. Yeah. Where I was like, damn, this gave me a really big appreciation for what they were able to do in the movie. Yeah. Because in the movie it looks like
good.
It looks so fucking
not
good.
Bad at all. Like, and they're pushing some limits too when it comes to like breaking the walls of like a typical fight sequence or something like that. Like at times there is stuntmen doing choreography and it just looks like a martial arts fight. But they're also flying through the air, doing super punches, having like flaming swords coming out of their chests and shit, like you said, and it all looks really good.
Yeah, and like the choreography, like set pieces, like they're not like, I would say they look simple on the outside, but like they're pretty long and they can get pretty complex as well. So I was pretty like surprised with just Michael Cera as well as like an actor. Like, damn, like he really like he showed out like in this one. Like it's easy to like him in shit like Superbad, you know, because he is that just like, you know, that likable character, you know, he's the innocent, like, you know, just kind of shy guy, you know, he's a little bit funny, a little bit quirky. And like in this, like he's kind of a dick. Scott Pilgrim's a fucking dick.
Scott Pilgrim sucks,
but he's fucking cool at the same time.
Well, because it was one of those smart castings where it's like, okay, the character of Scott just on a paper level is kind of an asshole. Like, if you get the wrong actor to play him, that can very much become an unlikable character. So you like soften the blow a little bit by casting Michael Cera. Because it's like everybody loves him. He's the lovable, innocent, shy guy. But when he's playing a dick, you're like, oh, Michael Cera, why are you doing that? Like, you silly boy.
Oh,
you
Michael
silly
Cera.
Scott Pilgrim. Because when you do go into it more, it's like, Scott is not necessarily a dick because he's like a horrible, evil, malicious person. It's because he's a fucking idiot. Like, he's a certified dumbass. Like, Scott's just stupid.
He's dumb. He's like insecure, and he like projects his insecurities upon other people.
He's like
you know,
a kid still. He's essentially a big kid. Yeah. It's really funny to watch though, and they casted it very, very well because Michael Cera does pull it off super, super well. One of
my favorite parts is when like. They go to I think it's after he fucking fights Todd and they're all going to like the pizza place and they're chilling there and then they go to the party after and then he's all drunk. He's like, I just had one drink, and he like he puts up like
I've had like one drink.
like one drink.
That's so
two
good.
G&Ts, please.
It's funny too.
Oh, why
like,
were you gonna drink too?
Yeah. I laughed too because that's like earlier in the movie. The movie is super tightly written. I think that's the other thing too that makes it so that like the shallowness of some of the characters and maybe the plot points doesn't matter so much because as a whole that's a tight fucking ship. Like all of the jokes are super quick and land super well. The one I was going to mention right now is that like earlier in the movie when Scott is talking to Como, who I was sad about not being in the show. I don't think he's in there, but it's like the guy who knows everybody. And he shows up in the movie and he shows him the picture and Scott shows up.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
hey, do you know a girl with hair like this?
Yeah.
They switched it for
Flowers.
Julie. Yeah. But he's like, hey, can I get you a drink? And he's like, no, I don't drink. And he's like, well, I specifically remember you being very drunk off of 2 G&Ts. And then that's exactly what he has later in the thing. Yeah. It's good shit. Yeah. But yeah, super tight.
I like it a lot. Yeah. Fucking Wallace is hella funny in this
Wallace
shit, obviously.
Is great. I was very surprised by like how many gay jokes there are in the movie. Another thing too that like I didn't remember. I don't think they're like horrible malicious ones, but after you hear like the 14th or 15th one, you're like, holy shit, there's a lot of these in here.
It seems a little childish, like for sure.
Definitely.
Like
but again, it's not horrible because it kind of fits the atmosphere of like the character cast in general. Even the most evil or the most sophisticated or the most famous characters in this have a certain level of childishness to them.
The funniest one to me, like the funniest gay joke one was to me was like was when he like wakes up and he's like telling like Wallace the story of like they
I had a dream about that girl again.
It's not that one. It's like later in the movie, like him and Ramona are like walking on something just happened. I forget what it was. And then she's like, yeah, it's pretty warm at my house. And then they like kiss each other. And then like it goes to like him telling the story in the bed. And then like one of the dudes that Wallace like was with, he like wakes up and he's just like, and you didn't bang her? What? Are you gay? Yeah. I was just like, God damn it. That was a pretty good one.
Yeah, dude. Those sounds are funny, man. It's just, again, like I feel like it's just, if it's the characters, even though they are pretty much all of them, whether they explore it in the two different ones, it's explored to like different levels, obviously, but pretty much all the characters are flawed in like some way or another.
Yeah.
Like except for Knives. Knives is pretty wholesome, I guess. She's not that bad. Like in the movie, she has like, you know, the shallowness of like, all right, I'm out for revenge, blah blah blah. But Knives is not terrible.
No, she's not bad.
No, everybody else though, and I guess Kim's not bad either. Neither is young Neil. Steven is not terrible, but those are arguably support characters.
I wouldn't say Wallace is bad either.
No, Wallace isn't terrible.
He just like, he just fucking steals Scott's sister's boyfriends all the time.
Yeah,
that's like the only thing that he does.
Yeah. But yeah, in terms of the main cast, the villains you would expect, but like the main cast as well, like they're flawed. Like Scott is definitely a flawed character, and Ramona is too.
Mm-hmm.
Like they both have pasts of not being the best people.
Yeah, I think in the animated show they make it easier to like a lot of the side characters because of how much they go into more of their character.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's not so much of just like, oh, here's Wallace, he's the fucking gay, like he's the fucking cool gay roommate. Like that's oh, here's fucking Kim, she's the fucking girl bass player. Like
drummer.
Yeah. Oh, the girl drummer. Fuck, dude, I'm getting so much shit wrong. Yeah, here's the girl drummer.
I was laughing at the joke this time where they're doing the first TIBB, the Battle of the Bands.
Yeah.
And they're crashing, the boys goes up, and the Kim sees him, and she's like, "They have a girl drummer, like son of a bitch."
She's just this little ass fucking girl.
And then Wallace roasting him is hilarious.
There was also a lot of like Asian, like Chinese fucking jokes in this. There was like a couple.
There
of them.
was, it's true,
and they were not very tasteful.
No, definitely not. Which again is like, I think, kind of what we were talking about, like a very rare opportunity that these creators have where they can look back at something that they made that may have had flaws in it. Holy shit. It's been a minute. I feel like vapes to joints is different all the time,
I feel that.
But fuck, what was I saying?
I mentioned how there was Asian jokes in this one. And they weren't very tasteful.
They're not, yeah. But again, like incredibly rare opportunity and kind of crazy to see somebody come back and like essentially fix their shit.
Yeah.
Like once you get a chance in the anime. Because like, and there was a ton of stuff this time where I was just like, whoa. Because I mean, when the movie, I saw this in theaters. So I was 13. So I'm sure silly hormonal 13-year-old fucking boy me was exactly like that was probably the fucking target demo that they were going after, right? Was like teenage boys, and like maybe young adults to like a certain extent.
Even like like when Wallace is like, oh yeah, like the L word, blah blah blah, and he's like lesbians, like that's like it's funny, but it's also like it's childish.
It is totally childish. To be that like, one totally makes me laugh.
Yeah, it does,
because it's like you got to bust out the L word. It's like lesbian. She's like, no, buddy, the other L word. Lesbians? Stupid ass. And then he does say it later. He's like, I have to say it. I'm in lesbians with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's I think overall it's a fucking high octane, super satisfying movie to watch, because like from start to finish, every single frame, every like piece of imagery on it is just so fun to look at. Like, it's intensely awesome. It's cool.
Yes.
Freaking Brad, dude.
I love all like the fights are so fucking good. Like in this in the movie, like
they really are.
They're well choreographed. Yeah. Like any CGI that they fucking do or anything that they do to like enhance the fights looks really fucking good. Like I'm never like, oh, that looks fucking shitty. Like I'm always like, wow, like they did this in 2010. Yeah. Like holy shit.
The other thing I think that's smart about it too is that like they kind of, I think in a very smart way, temper your expectations, because they put 8-bit and 16-bit video game looking graphics on the screen a lot of times, and they put like 2010 emoji faces on like text message keyboards on like Knives eyes and stuff like this, and they're overtly bad things that are used kind of jokingly or kind of like meta-ish. So like when you're seeing things that look that bad in perspective within that like 2-hour time block, it looks good. I'm not saying it looks bad, but it's easier to swallow because you already saw something that's just completely outlandish, like Scott grabbing a 1-up life out of the air, So it's like, okay, yeah, a green monster makes sense. Totally. Like, that's totally fine.
That's true. I will say the only thing that I don't think looks good is Todd's powers. Like, I don't think Todd's powers...
His hair looks stupid. Yeah. I did not like his hair. I don't think the powers look, like, horrible, but I was bummed at his hair and his eyes. It seemed very much like a Dragon Ball Evolution kind of vibe. Like they were trying to do some Super Saiyan hair and it just didn't work.
It also felt like a spoof like style like movie. Like
like the Super Saiyan or something.
Yeah. I also about this movie that I know I didn't like initially when I watched it is how like the ends of like the Todd fight and the Lucas Lee fight feel like cop outs. Like they like I hate how like he wins those fights.
Really?
Yes. He just is like, hey man, can you do a grindy thingy over there? And he's just like, I can do that.
Yeah, totally.
Know? And he just fucking dies from that. It just feels like I don't know. Like I didn't. It just felt like a weird way to end the fight both times. Like I understand it's like him using like his brain and like manipulating them and doing shit like that and like winning with his mind and not just fucking beating the shit out of him. But I want to see him beat the shit out of him. I don't want him to see like, you can't do this thing over here. And like, I could totally do that thing over there.
I like
and watch me do this thing, and then he just dies from that.
I like it because I think that I appreciate the fact that each of the fights are unique in that respect. All of them throw blows with each other at some point or another, but the fact that the resolution and how Scott has to beat them is not every single time just punch him really hard in the face, I like. Because it's like he just punches Matthew Patel really hard in the face, and that's totally fine. And then when he fights Lucas, he tricks him. Same thing with Todd. When he goes up against Roxy, he doesn't even beat her really. Like Ramona has to do it for him. And then when he fights the Katyanagi twins, it's like a music battle instead. And then the last one goes back to just punching each other really hard in the face.
See, I like those more than like the Lucas and the Todd ones because it just feels very just a simple like, haha, I tricked you into drinking the soy milk because I thought very hard that this one was the one I didn't. But like, I don't know, it just feels kind of dumb to me.
I think it's because those characters are dumb though too. Like they're arguably dumber than Scott because like. Even in the show, when like that one in particular, when Lucas Lee calls it out, it's very plain to me, anyways, that like he is making an excuse. He's like, I would never fall for that, and it's like, nah, you definitely would, bro. You 100% would.
Nah, I don't like. Maybe he would, maybe he wouldn't, but I don't know. Like I remember watching it the first time and being like, that was kind of like.
So
anticlimactic. I would say like the fight was like super crazy good, and then Scott's just like, you can't do a thingy on that thingy. Yeah. And he's like, it's called grind, bro.
Yeah.
You can't do a grindy thingy. And he's like, I could totally do a grindy thingy.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it was like a lackluster way for Chris, like, to see a character that I really liked Chris Evans playing, like, go out. I was like, damn, I wanted to see more of him, and he kind of went out in a sorry-ass way,
Yeah.
And then, Luke, I don't know, like, the Todd one was just kind of like, I thought about this one really hard.
Yeah.
And it wasn't soy milk, but... or thought that this one was the soy milk very, very hard.
Looked
but
into
it wasn't.
His mind's eye or whatever, man.
It was the half and half. But I do think I like the whole, like, the vegan police and them taking the powers away was hella funny. I love that shit.
I was sad that the vegan police were not in the anime. I was bummed.
Yeah, that shit made me sad.
Yeah.
When he's just like, on February 1st, you had blah blah blah.
Played a chicken parmesan.
Yeah.
Chicken's not vegan.
Yeah, that
funny.
shit was hella dumb, but I like that shit.
The first one, I forgot what he says, but he's like, you indulged in a plate of like Jello or something, and he's like, Jello's not vegan. He's like, it's milk and eggs, bitch.
Fuck, what was that one?
I forget what he says. It's like some dessert, I think, or something like that.
It's milk and eggs, bitch.
Milk and eggs, bitch. That's so funny, dude.
Yeah, but I do think the Roxy fight's pretty fucking cool. I like that shit.
Yeah. That was the one that resolved weird to me because he literally kills her by making her have an orgasm.
Yeah, that
was
weird.
The one that's like
by touching the back of her knee.
That's the most atrocious one to me. It's like, oh god, she got a horribly undignified death. Like,
or a great death.
I mean, for her, I'm sure she experienced pleasure as she died, but I'm just saying in the context of the story, it's like she literally got poked on the back of the knee and just orgasmed to death.
Yeah, that one kind of sucked too because he was just like...
And like her last line is also like, you'll never be able to do this to her.
Yeah.
Like, it's really bad. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest one.
Yeah.
And he's just like laying there. He's like, oh, what do I do? And she's like, touch the back of her knee.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you didn't just mention that.
That part the way they executed it made me laugh. It's just when the resolution happens, it's not. Because like I do like the part where it's like, it's a slow-mo, and he's like, touch the back of her knee. And he's like, how does that work? He's like, when we were making out, I would just, he's like, okay.
yeah. Then he does.
Like,
yeah.
that part's funny.
That's
But then,
cool.
it's just crazy, though. It's just a wild one.
Ramona Flowers versus
Roxy. Those are good too, because they don't have the narrator and they don't go full video game, but basically I think everybody does get the verses on there. Oh, you know what else I really like about the Todd battle too, though, is the bass battle, bro.
Oh yeah, that
the
shit's
bass
sick.
battle's tight.
That shit is super
The
fucking
fucking
sick.
D's coming out, the do.
Who plays the better bass? Who plays the better fucking
Definitely
bass?
Todd.
Yeah, 100%.
Easily, yeah. I mean, he
100%.
wins though too.
Yeah.
So it's everything that happens on screen is perfectly right.
yeah.
Yeah.
From a musical standpoint, you were okay with that?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I mean, you could argue about style, because like Scott is like a grungy garage band, as they describe it, kind of guy. Todd's a fucking rock star, bro. So of course he's gonna be hit.
Rock star.
I'm not afraid to hit a girl. I'm a rock star.
Yeah, that shit's pretty like
That one is hardcore.
Like, you wrote that?
Yeah, but it's
this
also
fool just hits a 17-year-old girl.
terrible. But again, there is
He's like, I'm not afraid to hit a girl.
not that one, but there is a funny joke in there to me though, when like young Neil's got her, he's like, you punched the highlights out of her hair.
Yeah, that shit's funny.
You punched the highlights out of her hair.
I'm a rock star.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to hit a girl.
And then also the follow-up joke to that too does crack me up, because fucking Envy looks over at him and she's like, you're incorrigible. And he's like, I don't know the meaning of the word. It's like, bing. He really doesn't.
See, fucking Brie Larson's so great in
She's
this
funny,
fucking
bro.
movie.
Yeah.
Like, when someone writes a character and allows her to be a character, she's fucking great.
Yeah. Oh,
She
yeah,
is
yeah.
fucking phenomenal.
She's good. She's a great actor, man. Yeah.
Dude. Yeah, she killed. I forgot how much she fucking really gets down in the shit.
Yeah,
It's like
I think
hella funny.
in the movie, again, like it was, she is funny and she still fits the bill that everybody else does. But it was another one of those things of like, having watched the movie again after seeing the show, it's like they don't dive into Envy the most in the show, but there's still more. And so again, it's hard to go back and be like, well, she's just like the jealous girlfriend or ex-girlfriend who realizes that she's like been on a crazy rock star kick this whole time. All of a sudden, after her boyfriend gets headbutted to death or whatever, you know?
Yeah, there is a very quick at the end of that fight where like they have like a like her.
She's
and
like,
Scott.
bye, Nat.
Yeah.
Nobody calls me that anymore.
No one's ever called me that.
Yeah.
No one's called me that in a long time before.
Maybe they should.
Yeah, it was just like a very quick like.
Yeah.
Oh,
They just
Scott
wrap
realized
stuff up fast.
Scott realized his faults and she realized her faults.
Yeah.
Blah 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 blah. It
But
was
they
like,
didn't
okay.
actually ever even say anything to each other.
Nope.
Like, it's just
Never.
the fight happens.
Yeah.
And then everything is okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's fine because, again, it fits the style of the movie and she fits the bill across the rest of the cast like everybody else does.
Jason Schwartzman is fucking
Killed it. He's
so
funny.
fucking good in this shit, dude.
He's so funny. I like it too because, like, I think when I was a 13-year-old kid, I looked at him and I was like, oh, yeah, he seems like a cool, like, indie mogul producer kind of guy or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But then I see it now, and then again, especially with the context of the show, it's, like, good because he's just playing that. Even, like, Gideon Graves is just playing Gideon Graves.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's like a
Gordon
facade.
Goose,
Yeah,
man.
Gordon Goose, yeah. It's just playing Gideon Graves. Like, it's a facade. And you very much see it when you watch the movie. It's like, oh, yeah, I can see Gordon in there. He's just playing it being the fucking guy or whatever.
Yeah.
He's funny, dude. He's a dick, though.
He is a dick,
He's
for
way
sure.
he's way more. He's still a villain in the series, I think, especially by the like end of it. But he's way more likable in the series than he is in this.
Yeah,
Like,
and this he just seems like super manipulative and fucking
just horribly terrible.
just a piece of
evil.
shit.
Yeah,
just a piece of shit. A lot of people, like you said, a lot of people are kind of piece of shit in this fucking
which is
in
good
this movie.
too, because like we'll get into it later, like in terms of how it goes down when we switch to the show. But like, what I like about it a lot is that even in the show, they technically are still who they are. They still start that way because as we come to know, again, we'll explain later, but the movie is how things were supposed to go.
Yeah.
Right. And so like, it's nice that they drop that within the universe of stuff because not only do we have the outside context of like Edgar Wright did better this time in this aspect or that, and this character's more thought out, but like within the universe of Scott Pilgrim, the characters took better paths and chose better options and did better things because this is how their lives were supposed to turn out.
Yeah.
which is fucking cool. And it's like, well, again, why I have a hard time saying like one is better than the other, because like both very obviously are much cooler as just a unit.
Yeah,
like a Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2 type of vibe. Like,
and with the movie, you're limited to who you can dive into and how much you can dive into.
An hour
in each
and
character.
52 versus I think it's like you get what 8 hours or no 4 hours because they're like 30-minute episodes, right? Yeah. So yeah, like twice as long. You got plenty more time to do stuff. And they just boot out the main character for most of the show.
Yeah, I like how at the end they have the negative Scott.
Yeah, Nega Scott.
Yeah,
that stuff's funny.
And they're like setting up like this big old battle, and then they just come out. They're like, "Oh yeah, has like a nice ass French toast."
Yeah,
you know? Like, "Oh, it's okay. Yeah, see you next week."
Yeah,
he's like, "Oh yeah, no, he was a cool guy. We're gonna go brunch next week."
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that shit's funny.
That was funny.
We actually have a lot in common.
Yeah, yeah, you're the same people.
We just shot the shit.
Yeah, we just shot the shit.
Yeah, it's so funny.
That's such like a Michael Cera fucking line.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah, we just shot the shit.
We just shot the shit. He's actually a great guy.
Yeah,
yeah. That was good. I loved it. It was a funny turnaround too, because like I think as a kid I was disappointed by not seeing them fight, but now watching it again, it's like it's hilarious. It's such a good turnaround because like the big climax already happened. You don't need another fight afterwards as you're coming down already. So it was a good little twist too. I liked it.
Exactly.
It was solid.
Yeah, I thought the movie was really good. I still liked it this time. I think I said it before though. I think I really like the show a lot more. But no, still really good. The movie definitely still holds up. I think also holds a place in like the pop culture zeitgeist.
Oh yeah,
you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Super good visuals, super good music, super great cast. I'm glad that all the cast got brought back for the anime. So
pretty crazy, man.
Yeah, it was really it was really really great. If you haven't watched Scott Pilgrim, I don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Go watch it. It's on Netflix.
Go watch that shit. Fucking Danielle had never seen Scott Pilgrim.
Really?
Yeah,
That's a trip to me.
I was talking to her about. I was like, dude, have you ever seen fucking Scott Pilgrim? And she was like, no. And I was like, fuck, bro.
She should totally watch.
And I was telling her, I was like, dude, you need to watch it, and then you need to watch the show.
Yeah,
because that shit's
awesome.
crazy.
Yeah.
Shit's crazy.
Yeah, it's good. I would say that I would probably give Scott Pilgrim versus the World like a solid 8 out of 10. Maybe an 8.5 even for nostalgia's sake. But I think it's like a solid 8.
Yeah, I would say I'm like a 7.5 to an 8, like really good. Leaning more on the 8. Yeah, super solid. Like I said, super great cast, super great music. But yeah.
Freaking awesome, man.
It's freaking awesome, man.
It's freaking great.
I'm always gonna watch it.
Here's what I'll say. There are plenty more movies from that era that have the same type of problems that are egregiously worse.
Yes,
that
1,000%.
we still love and defend.
1,000%.
So the I want to make it clear that like the nitpicks that I am pointing towards it of the outdated things in it are very like. They're bad, but again, like we'll still go to bat for comedy movies and this and that are like hundreds of times worse. So like it's not the most egregious offense in that aspect, but it's good.
Yeah,
holds up, man. It's a solid movie.
Hell yeah, holds up. I mean, fuck, 2010, 13 years later, still holds up. Fucking all the graphics crazy. And everything hold up.
Still look really good.
Better than a lot of shit that comes out fucking.
They do this really cool thing that I just want to like highlight before we leave this one and go to the show, which is like when the fights are happening, they do this super intense like subconscious thing where the borders of the screen, when the villain has a bead on Scott, the borders of the screen get tight, and then when Scott does like a reversal or like gets out of a situation, they like open up again, and it's really cool. I noticed it in the first one, and then I noticed it throughout the rest, and I was like, "Holy fuck, that's so smart! That's so cool!"
Hell yeah, I like that shit. Changing the aspect ratios and shit like that.
Yeah, and it just like you don't even really like notice it too much. It's like the subconscious fucking imagery they have in like Fight Club and shit like that, right? But like it still has an effect on you and your viewing of it, which is cool. It's just like secret behind the scenes stuff. That's fun.
Okay, I think I'm good.
Survived?
I survived it.
If you sneeze, you die. Never sneeze.
Never die.
Never sneeze, never die.
One other thing I liked about the movie is I like how they do a lot of anime things that transition well to like live action, like shit like when they get punched, like when Scott gets punched into like a ceiling, like the shit bends and shit like that. You know, it's not like he just doesn't like crash into it and then like fall down, like it fucking bends and shit like that. And you know,
They have
really fucking cool.
They do all of the like. I think it's maybe like a little bit more like American comic books, but they do like the worded effects a lot of the times too. Like when they go through a wall, it'll say like crash, and stuff like that. But it looks good. Like it doesn't look out of place, which is insane. Yeah, I don't know how they did it, but it all makes sense. It's good.
We are Sex Bubble. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I freaking sat down and yeah, seriously, dude. I fucking sat down to watch it while I was eating dinner last night, and I still had to like take a shower and like get ready for bed and stuff. So I was like, I'll just pause it like at some point. And like I was just watching it on the TV volume, and then the opening scene played, and they got to that part, and like the opening credits started playing, and I was like, click. And I paused it. I was like, no, I'm going to get everything that I need to get done, and I'm going to put my headphones on for this movie. And I was like, it's fucking so hype, bro. The music is great. It's fucking fantastic. Good, fucking Beck, and I think Anamanaguchi also did stuff on it too. Yeah, I think so. And then there's also a lot more like needle drops in this one than there is in the show. Well, maybe not. Actually, there's still needle drops, but they're in the credit scenes of the show. Yeah,
there's a lot more like music in the... I think in the movie than there is in the show. Yeah, for sure.
I also like too that like the show's songs that Sex Bomb plays are still like pretty good, but in the movie they're fucking ridiculous. Yeah, like, so like it doesn't make any sense for them that they're like, maybe we suck or something like that, you know, because they're clearly just like fucking awesome. Like, yeah. But I like in the show that like. The songs are not bad, but they're not like fucking pop hit level awesomeness. Yeah. So it's like a little more believable when they're like, maybe we suck. I don't know. Yeah. And then like, you know,
those doubts creep in.
Yeah, it's good shit. I like it.
But yeah, let's move on to the fucking show, dude. Something that I was surprised by.
Me too. It's really good.
Yeah, I was really glad that it was this fucking good because, you know, maybe sometimes we get reboots and we get shit like that aren't like, you know, that aren't too good. Yeah. And this wasn't even exactly like a full reboot. Like we were saying, like everything in the movie still...
It's technically a continuation of the universe.
Yes.
Like it's, yeah.
Yeah, so if you have not watched Scott Pilgrim Takes Off on Netflix, I definitely highly recommend you go watch it before you listen to this.
Yeah, big time spoilers.
Yeah, maybe you listen and it makes you want to go watch it. But anyway, Scott Pilgrim Takes Off is, yes, a continuation of like the Scott Pilgrim universe. So the first episode happens and it's basically like the first like 30 minutes of the first movie.
Yeah, same thing up until the Matthew Patel fight.
Yeah, pretty much like that first act of like the first movie. Except like the Matthew Patel fight. So in the movie, you have everything that happens. You know, you have Scott meets Ramona, like dreams of Ramona, all that. Yep. Knives, everything. Yep. They have a show. They go to the rocket. Yep. And then when Matthew Patel shows up in the show, they have a big fight. But then Matthew Patel seemingly wins. Yeah. Right? In the beginning. And I was thrown off immediately. I was like, whoa, what the fuck?
That's really good.
I was ready for Scott to like come out of like somewhere else and do something else. But then he like, Matthew Patel's just
the
like. The
coins shoot up and you're like, oh, fuck, he died.
I'm like, And then it ends and you're like, oh, wow, he really fucking died. This is crazy.
I will say the one thing that they did do different that I did like is they introduced the League a lot earlier. Yes. It did trip me out that like it's not even really named fully until Lucas Lee in the movie. Like he's like, prepare, and he rips the thing down. He's like, prepare to face on like the League of Evil Exes or whatever. And he's like, what? And then he explains it. But like in this one, fucking Gideon has like a whole evil villain room with like red screens all over the place. And he's like, is it time? And he's like, it is time. And like all this like great, which was good. I liked that a lot. It was solid.
It reminded me like some like Samurai Jack, like fucking evil character fucking and shit.
It's also just a good way of like helping to pull off the trick because like I know for me personally, I was a little scared as I was watching the first episode because in my head leading up to it, I was like, yeah, all I need is an animated version of the movie across like 5 to 10 episodes. Like that's totally fine with me. Yeah. But then I started watching it and it was all the same lines and it was like a lot of the same deliveries and like the animation looked good, but it was a lot of the same shots. Yeah. And I was like, oh, fuck, I don't want to watch the movie all over again and animated. This maybe kind of sucks. And then you get little bits like that and then obviously they get the ending and I was like, holy shit, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I binged the whole thing. I don't binge ever. And I watched everything from start to finish as soon as it came out.
Dang. I think I watched like the first 3 episodes, and then I took a couple days, and then I watched like the rest of the episodes. Just
They're
'cause I was
not
doing
long.
shit.
They're only 30 minutes.
Yeah, so it's pretty easy
bad.
to fucking get. It's pretty easy to get through. But yeah, the first episode had me tripping because I think I had the same thoughts about you. Not that I was like not down. I think when I was watching, I was like, oh yeah, all right, cool. It's just gonna be an animated version of the movie.
Yeah.
I'm fucking with it.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. And then it ended. I was like, holy shit,
What just happened?
like what? Like wow. Like this is crazy, and then it turns into like the Ramona show. Like it turns into Ramona versus the fucking world.
Yeah,
you know, and I like that turn that it took because that was one of my main gripes that I had with the movie is that Ramona really doesn't like she's just there. She's more of a plot device versus than like an actual like.
She's a charming character.
Yeah,
but she's just not a very deep character.
Which
nobody else is really. But
but they give her more. They give her more of a like. They give more backstory to how she broke up with each of the characters. And they made her come to terms with all of the shit that she did and that wasn't wrong and was like, dang, I'm not the best person.
Yeah.
I have to change some shit about myself.
Yeah.
Along with Scott. Scott also still fucking sucks. And he has shit he has to fucking work on.
What's good about it is it's like, again, that's why I was mentioning earlier, it's like, it's essentially the same story and they go through the same character progression. It's just longer and makes more sense now. In this because it's not that they just punched the problems in the face and we're all better. It's that, like you said, they actually have to confront them and think about what the repercussions might be for it. Where like Ramona's faced with them metaphorically, Scott is like faced with them literally. Yeah, just like sees what's gonna happen if he keeps being regular old Scott Pilgrim for the rest of his life. And shit.
One of my favorite episodes was I think it was like the 3rd or 4th episode, the one where she fights Roxy and like the freaking.
I think it's number 3.
Yeah, I like that. Like one because the fight scene's super cool. Like they're going through like the different like animation styles, which is really dope
and stuff. Yeah,
but also like Roxy finally break down, being like, dude, like you just fucking like left,
dipped, dude.
Like you didn't say anything, like you just left, and that fucking sucked.
Yeah,
and you don't understand how much that fucking sucked. You just thought like, oh, it was just this thing, like it's cool to move on.
Yeah.
And then Ramona realized like, oh damn, like
I did do that.
Damn, I'm sorry. Like I'm sorry that fuck, and then they come to terms by the end and they're fucking cool with it, and I was like, damn, like that is fucking solid. That is what I didn't know I needed. Yeah. But I fucking got. Exactly. And I'm so fucking glad. Yeah. Because even like in the movie, like Roxy is not like the most like out of all the exes, she is definitely the one that has like, I think, the least backstory like to her. Yeah. They don't really give her like all too much time,
I mean, I think she has a little bit more than the Katinagi twins technically.
Yes, but, for sure.
But yeah, she's on the lower side of things for sure. Yeah.
So it's nice that they gave us more about that, and I appreciated the fuck out of that one. And also like the Lucas Lee episode,
that one's honestly, that one might be my favorite episode.
That one's really fucking dope. I mean, all really the skating in it was fucking awesome. His fucking Whatever.
The song is my favorite too. I've listened to that one a bunch. The United States of Whatever. I was going down to the pool house and I saw this girl and she was like, hey, and I was like, yeah, whatever. It's so good, dude. Fucking great. My favorite is like the last one that he has because he's like, I saw my buddy over at the thing and I was like, hey, what's up, man? And he's like, nothing much. I was like, that's cool. It's fucking sick.
Yeah, no, I like that shit a lot. And like,
the skating scenes are tight, bro. They're fucking
super
good.
Fucking tight. But like, again, giving like depth to a character that didn't have a whole lot of depth in the fucking movie. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And like getting Chris Evans to fucking do more voice acting for that, was fucking sick. And he does such a good fucking job as that fucking character. Yeah,
he for sure, I think, goes back to like what the classic idea of the characters are in my head, because I will say for all of them, basically except for him, there was a little bit of an adjustment period for me, because I think all of them play them slightly differently, aside from the fact that like a lot of them sound older, like they are playing them a little more subtly, not so like over the top like caricature like the movie was calling for. Yeah. So like it took me a minute, but with him it's just him again. Yeah. Like he's literally still just Lucas Lee, but more, in depth and stuff.
Let's party.
Yeah. It's like, I don't even read the scripts anymore. And then Roxy's like, is that why every line in your last movie was let's party? And he's like, I don't know. I didn't even watch it. That's so funny, dude.
So good. But yeah, I love that. Like I love the whole like young Neil's fucking sleep paralysis demon writing the fucking movie for him, and him being like, I'm a screenwriter.
I think young Neil's my favorite character
He's
in the
so
series,
funny,
bro.
dude.
He cracks me up. My favorite line of his is when Ramona, I think it's episode 4. I think it's the Lucas Lee one where Ramona goes to set when they're making the movie, and he's driving around the car and he's like, did you know in the United States these are called Mario Karts?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't think that's what they're called, young Neil. How would you know? It's like, because I'm from the United States. It's like, well, they're still called that in Japan. Still don't think that either. He's so good.
Dumb,
I
dude.
love him so much. He cracks me up, dude. The delivery in his lines is my favorite in the whole show. He cracks me up, dude.
When he's just like, I just found out I'm a cinephile.
Yeah.
Like,
No, not when I just found out I was a cinephile. Like, he's just like so slow about everything. It's hilarious. He like fucking tells Ramona, he's like, all right, be careful. He's like, don't worry. I know my way around this set. He's like, where am I?
Yeah. God damn it. But yeah, I like the whole idea that they're shooting the movie that is the movie that we fucking watch.
Yeah.
Like, that shit's so funny.
What I love is it's like that's already hilarious, but then it gets even better later when future Ramona explains, like, no, this is actually what happened. Like, this was our story. This is how we met and fell in love and eventually, you know, split up and everything like that, which is so fucking cool. Because again, it's like, oh, okay, so then Scott Pilgrim is what we think it is. This is like an alternate timeline, essentially, of like Scott Pilgrim, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Shit was fucking crazy, man. Shit was fucking crazy. What other characters were in here? I thought the change up of like the Todd shit was pretty fucking cool too.
Yeah,
like
it
that
was
was pretty
funny.
interesting,
Yeah.
you know? Like fucking Wallace does his Wallace shit and just fucking picks up on Todd, and then Todd's just like, I'm fucking gay now.
Super in love too.
Yeah.
Yeah. He like apparently falls in love for the first time, which makes Envy pretty upset. Which I liked. I think like I said, I feel like Envy kind of doesn't really change.
No.
Which is fine. Like, it's not a big deal. But when everybody else ended up getting character development in like some way or another, even if it's like the Katsunagi twins who get it like off screen, we don't even really get like she's just Envy the whole time, which is like, again, it's fine. It doesn't matter because like I don't know if I necessarily need Envy to change that much or even at all.
No, she is who she is.
Yeah, and she like doesn't give a shit, which is cool because like the bit in the movie almost, I like her more in the series because in the series it seems more like, no, this is the choice that I made and I did this because I want to do this. Like I worked for this stardom and this fame, so I'm owning that shit.
Yeah.
Versus like in the other one, it was like as soon as her ex-boyfriend called her by her real name again, she's like, oh my God, did I do wrong?
Yeah.
And so I like this more. She's like, just like, nah, fuck you. I'm Envy Adams, bitch.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
I like that they gave Lucas Lee's gimmick from the movie to Wallace. Like when Wallace is fighting Envy and fucking
with the
Ramona,
stunt doubles. Yeah,
with the stunt doubles.
That was good. Yeah,
that was good because I watched the movie and I was like, oh shit. Like that's what they did with fucking Wallace. And I was like, oh damn, that was pretty fucking cool.
They did a good job of including a lot of fun references and homages to the movies in like ways that are a little bit different than like how they're executed in the movie.
Yeah.
But still good and funny in their own right, you know? I was glad that they kept the shoelace thing later, like in the final battle when they're like charging and he's like, wait! Okay.
And he just has the one shoe on.
Yeah, because he fucking got knocked out of his other shoe and shit. That dude that I fucking sent you the video of, who like narrates the fucking anime fights.
Yeah.
He did the like final fight from Scott Pilgrim.
Oh really?
Yeah, that shit's fucking funny, dude. Yeah, I'll send it to you later. Yeah, but the again, like the same praise that I gave to the movie, I give to the show as well, but I would say like more so because it's fully animated, and I would say it's in its like more effective form of like media. Because the movie is great and it looks great and it's wonderful, but when everything is animated, then it's just no contest.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
So it gets points for that, but all of the fight scenes are very creative, which I liked a lot. Like it's never just them in an arena punching each other. Like something is happening to put them in like different circumstances, like them jumping through the different like movies and stuff like that with the Roxy fight, or
Lucas versus the
the
paparazzi.
That's my favorite. I think that's my favorite episode because like skating is just fucking sick.
Yeah,
and like they also just like, even though he's like breaking the laws of physics and just doing crazy shit, they still pay homage to skate videos because like they do the low angles and like almost animate it like a fisheye lens.
Yeah.
So it actually looks like a skate video and it's like really fucking cool. So yeah, I don't know. I just love it.
The coolest part to me is like when he's skating like in the beginning of his episode and he's like skating on like the side
walls.
of that building.
Dude, yeah, it's awesome. It's fucking
that shit
cool.
was sick.
People do wall rides, but
Yeah.
it's not like that. Yeah.
No.
But I love it too because it just escalates to like insanity too, because like at a certain point his board is basically just his superpower, which is cool because in the movie he's just, everybody has a gimmick, right? Like Roxy's a ninja, Todd has his vegan powers, Matthew's got mystical stuff, the Katinagi twins use magic, and Gideon is basically like the evil version of Scott or whatever.
Yeah.
But Lucas Lee's just really strong in the movie. Like he doesn't have like a specific thing about him in terms of like his fighting style, I think.
Yeah.
Versus in this, like they utilize the skateboard super well. Like when he fucking throws it up in the air and like spins at it and turns into like a drill. I was
so
like, yo,
sick.
that's a tight ass super move,
So
bro.
fucking sick.
Fucking
dude.
special jutsu shit right there, dude.
Yeah.
That was fucking tight, man.
Yeah. I'm just sad that like they made Todd's powers look super fucking cool.
Yeah.
And they just didn't really do anything like with his powers and like
I will say that like I wasn't bummed about it within the context of the episode for all of them.
Yeah.
Because I liked how each of their like powers and or special talents were utilized. Where I was kind of bummed was in the final fight. Cause like, I don't know. That's maybe my one nitpick kind of gripe about the show, is that like they make a big deal about bringing the entire cast into the final fight, only for all of them to do like one thing, get punched in the face, and then kicked out of the fight.
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of annoying because I was really hyped when I saw everybody, and then like the fun twist on it, which we'll get into later, of like the world versus Scott Pilgrim, right? Which is fucking great. But yeah, that's maybe like my one small little gripe about it. But other than that, as we'll get into more of it, but yeah, this shit was awesome. I've seen it twice already. I binged it on my own, and then Ev wanted to watch it, so I watched all the episodes with her too.
Nice.
And I loved it, man. I really like the meta joke that they do in the very first episode, which is like, again, one of the minor change ups where like when Scott goes up to Ramona and he's like, hey, you know Sonic the Hedgehog? Yeah, I know. It's like, well, in the 90s there was like this really kid version of the show and this really dark version of the show, but the same guy voiced him in both of the series. Isn't that crazy? Same guy voicing him across two different versions. And I was like,
I changed it from like the whole Pac-Man conversation.
The
they had.
Paku one.
Paku.
Yeah. That shit was funny.
It's supposed to be called Puck-Man.
Yeah.
But you know.
People were afraid they'd take out. That's also a funny bit in the movie that I like too, because like he tells the story so confidently to Knives in the beginning of the movie, and then just like butchers it when he's talking to Ramona. Which is funny.
And Knives is so like, oh my god, like about it, you know,
and
she's
Ramona's
so mesmerized.
like realistic, and she's just like, okay, random.
Yeah.
Get away from me.
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, back to the show though.
I like the addition of like the whole Sparks idea.
I do too.
Of this.
Yeah, it's good.
It was nice.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I don't think that was that wasn't a thing in the movie.
They don't reference it, but visually it comes from, I mean, obviously probably the comic books, but when Ramona and Scott do kiss for the first time, they have like the big hearts coming up and like Scott playing bass in the background.
Yeah.
Which is basically the same thing they do. But yeah, it's not like a plot point. Like they don't actually talk about it.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
I like making it a point. But yeah, shall we get into like the twist? So
yeah, definitely.
So we have the first episode where Scott goes missing. And then from the second episode until the 6th episode,
he's not there.
You don't have Scott Pilgrim there, so you don't have him there for the majority of the fucking show.
There's only 3 of them.
But you have Ramona looking for him, which I liked because it solidified the relationship for me more.
Yeah, definitely.
Like in the movie, like it's like, okay, Scott's the main character and Ramona's his love interest, so obviously like they're gonna like each other and and you know, and they're gonna date and they're gonna fall in love, blah blah, whatever. But in the show, it makes it more believable because she's the one that's like, no, Scott's alive, you know, and she feels the connect. There feels like a mutual liking of each other.
Well, it's the sparks. And like, if it wasn't for the sparks, it would be somewhat stupid. Because because there's a visual element that tells you these people were meant for each other, it makes sense that she's fighting so hard. But the characters even call her out where they're like, why are you trying so hard to save this guy that you had like one date with that one time?
Yeah.
And she's like, there were sparks.
Yeah.
So it like makes sense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you have her basically searching for
she's going detective mode.
Yeah, she's going detective mode.
Columbo.
She's going Columbo. Yeah. And she's going through her exes trying to figure out which one stole Mark and held him captive because she believes
going Invincible.
Oh, Mark, fuck, dude. God damn it. I'm mixing up all the shit today.
No, that one makes me laugh though too because we were literally just talking about Invincible.
But yeah, she believes that Scott is alive. Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, because he calls out to her in like the subspace highway.
Yeah.
Yeah, in her dream.
I still don't really get, but it is what it is. So.
I like though that because it's funny because that's generally the response from like the characters in the movie and in the beginning of the show, where she's like, I just have this really convenient subspace highway that runs through your head. And then they're like, huh? She's like, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But then she talks to Kim and she's like, yeah, I heard him in the subspace highway. And she's like, cool. Like, wow, you're the first person who doesn't care about that. She's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. But yes, so Ramona believes that Scott is still alive, so she is going Columbo mode, and she is doing her detective shit through these 4 or 5 episodes, trying to search for him, going to each of her exes, trying to figure out which one she thinks. You know, she goes...
It's the murderer.
Yeah, Matthew Patel, obviously didn't do it. She goes to Lucas Lee, he didn't do it. She goes to Todd, he didn't do it. Goes to the freaking goes to Roxy, didn't fucking do it. Goes to Gideon,
Gordon, and Julie too, who also was got a lot more time, and I was very happy about it. Love me some Aubrey Plaza.
Yep, they didn't do it, and then so she's like, oh, it's got to be the Katsunagi twins, and also there's the robot that's been following them all around. Yeah. So she comes up with the who, the why, and then the how, basically, and they're like ready to go out and be like, all right, we're gonna go find them. Blah blah blah. They open the door. Boom. Scott's there. Yeah. And then she's like, well, what about the fucking Katsunagi twins and the robot? And he's like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. It was them.
But there was somebody else behind it. Like, who? Me. Yeah.
It was me.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that fucking got me. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that was solid.
I did not see that coming at all.
Yeah, no, it was really good too. Especially the way they play it out, because like I think at first, like the 5 second span between that episode and the next one, I was like, all right, well, Scott's a dick, so maybe he would pull some dumb shit and like try to get out of the situation or whatever. But it's more satisfying and way better what they do, which is like future Scott, who is divorced from Ramona, like what does he say? I think it's like 12 or 13 years later.
Yeah, 13 years,
13 years, later. Is still a fucking idiot.
Yep.
And basically jokes to Wallace. Or no, Wallace jokes to him in the future. Like, oh, if only you had a time machine, go back and stop yourself from ever being with Ramona. Takes it seriously. Has the Katsunagi twins and their robot fucking build a time machine.
Exactly.
And pluck Scott Pilgrim out. Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Pretty good shit.
Yeah, I thought it was nice. It was crazy too because like they mentioned time travel. And then I think Wallace is like, oh, time travel hasn't even been fucking invented yet. So I was like, what the fuck? Then how do they even fucking do it? And then the way they mentioned it, I was like, oh, damn, that's a good way to tie it all together. Because the twins and the robot do technically do it. Yeah, but they do it in the future. Yeah. And all that shit. So that was really good. But yeah, I liked the episode. Like, we haven't been I almost said Mark again, but we haven't been with Scott these whole 5 episodes. And then the 7th episode, they're like, oh, yeah. Here's
2 of them.
Yeah, here's this whole fucking Scott episode, which I thought was really, really fucking good. I like seeing future Scott. Who voiced him? I didn't
Will Forte, bro.
Will Forte?
Yeah.
God
Will
damn
Forte.
Will Forte.
Yeah. Cracked me up. He's so good, dude. I love him. But yeah, I liked older Scott a lot in this one. I thought that like
I like the beard, man.
The beard's great. Also, I love the joke about it too. He's like, nice beard. And he's like, thanks. Nobody ever notices. Or like nobody ever says anything about it.
I wish I could grow a beard.
Yeah, exactly. I know, me too. Hey man, Scott couldn't when he was 23 or something like that. You never know. True. Maybe when you get older. But
I want a beard now.
I do too. I just get patchy. That's all it is.
Me too. That's what I have right now. Just patches are here, man. Yeah,
not even very much either.
Nope.
But anyway, aside from our inability to grow beards.
Yeah.
Just put some Bosley on your cheeks.
Yeah. Our follicle deficiency.
Follicle deficiency. Older Scott is good, and I like him a lot. And it's like, I think it is a good exploration of like what Scott would become eventually, especially with like the context of like when Wallace is or when regular Scott asks older Wallace, hey, is older me okay? And he's like, remember when you broke up with Envy or when Envy dumped you? And he's like, yeah. He's like, it's like that
times 10.
times 10. Yeah. And he's like,
damn.
oh no.
Yeah.
Like it contextualizes it because of like the groundwork laid in the movie, you know, of like, we know that Scott was like absolutely devastated after that and whatnot. So I think it's like a natural progression of like what would happen eventually after the end of the Scott Pilgrim movie.
Yeah.
And so it's cool to see them like literally rewrite that. And
Yeah.
be like, no, take a look at yourself, Scott. Because like that was the other thing I was going to mention too, is it's like even Scott in the movie from the show to the movie gets better character development.
Yeah.
Like even though he's only in 3 of the episodes, like it's still better than what's in the movie.
Yeah.
It's like not punching your problems in the face and then everything is fine. So I like that a lot too. And I think like older Scott and then even older Scott helps like pull that all together.
Yeah, I think it's better development because I think like he is getting to see like older Scott have these insecurities that he probably knows that he has as a 23-year-old, and then seeing him like not be able to get over that shit, like it's probably like, whoa.
It's like, damn, I got to deal with this.
Yeah, versus like it's not like Scott's not really paying attention to his insecurities in the movie, you know,
because he's like 22 or 23 or something like that.
And he's not like, you know, but like in this, like getting to see his future self and like talking to older future Wallace and being like, oh damn, like this fool still hasn't gotten over this shit, this fool's still acting like this. Like he essentially becomes another one of like Ramona's evil exes. Basically.
100%. Yeah,
you know,
he turns into a cooler and better and more like story driven version of Nega Scott, basically.
Yep,
by the end of it. And like visually too, like they totally go for it. But yeah, also while we're on the future bit, I hella liked they did sneak. It's like subtle, but I think it is still kind of technically, it's a gay joke on a technicality. But like they do the whole like bit where Wallace is, or I think Wallace is like, have you told him yet? And he's like, Wallace. And he's like, told me what? And he's like, well, I don't think he was ready to hear this quite yet. And then they like put their arms around each other and he's like, I was waiting for the right moment to tell you.
Yeah.
Wallace's husband works at Nintendo.
Like,
where they make the games.
Yeah.
I love that shit so much, dude. It cracked me the fuck up. I was dying, dude. It's hilarious. It's like, do you get all of the games for free? He's like, yes, he does. He's like, no, I doesn't. No, I don't.
Yeah.
It's fucking good.
I did like them playing out like when Scott shows him like, hey, yeah, this is like what happened, and he shows him through like the VR and stuff like that. And he's like, oh my god, VR, like that was cool. It kind of reminded me of like Ready Player One, like a little bit, like the book, because like in the book, like at the end they have to like play a game that has like a very like one of the first games that I forget what the creator's name of like the Oasis is. In that book, but essentially like there's this game that he really liked when he was a kid that had like an Easter egg that you only knew if you like fucking actually like knew about it and everything like that. And like in the book they like he has to go through and like play it. And I don't know, that just really like reminded me of it because like in the book it's really like detailed, like the room that they're in is like just there's like really nothing going on except for like the one station blah blah or whatever, and that's kind of like what it reminded me of. It's just that station, and I was like, oh damn, that was really fucking,
that was cool. I like it too, just because like I am pretty sure that Nintendo actually made something like that in like the 70s or the 80s or something, and it's like 100% a visual reference to it. I'll find it right now. But I also just loved the like fighting game combo like passcode to get into the door. It's like a giant code.
It's like down, up,
and then like
diagonal and then punch.
That shit was fucking funny, dude. I loved it so much.
And then the door was just a big fucking like a Game Boy or fucking whatever it was.
It's just a big old controller or some shit, dude. I
liked that shit. Yeah, a lot of good, like so many good fucking visuals in this shit, man. Like,
Yeah, I think like
it's just ridiculous.
it's crazy because I think when I was little, I always thought that like it was very anime, and it is still, and like the anime is obviously even more anime, but like upon rewatching the movie and the show, I think like the true reference for Scott Pilgrim is video games, like classic video games, which I fucking love. Like all, like a lot of the fight music goes into like the fucking old school video game tunes and stuff like that. It's like combos and like combo moves and all this stuff, and like getting 1-ups and all that shit and stuff. I fucking love it. It's awesome.
I think it's like video games and anime, because Scott Pilgrim can very much be like your stereotypical like main character shonen, like shonen
That's
character,
true,
you know,
just like gets stronger no matter what.
Yeah,
can always
exactly.
Fight the bad guy. And
yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
Yeah.
He's just the strongest dude in his fucking district, blah blah blah, or whatever. Like,
he's just the best fighter in Toronto.
Yeah, crazy. He just beat up Drake.
Easily. Ooh.
That's how I didn't like that. That's how he got his fucking. That was the final boss. Was Drake?
Was Drake after? Yeah, he had to do a rap battle instead of a bass battle.
No, they fought each other, bro.
Straight up punched each other.
They straight up punched each other.
That'd be like Homelander versus Omni-Man, bro.
Yeah, and Scott Pilgrim's Omni-Man.
100%.
Yeah,
easily.
God damn it.
Yeah, but it was awesome, and I liked the because at first when you're seeing the robot jump out of the backgrounds and get caught throughout the episodes, you're like, oh no, the bad guy's spying on them.
Yeah.
When in reality, it was just Scott watching everything that happened. And then it's also funny too, because it's like an easy in-universe thing, because I think he literally says like, yeah, I'm pretty much caught up. Yeah. And it's like, oh, he just watched all the episodes like that we watched or whatever.
And I like how not like inconspicuous like the robot is. He's just so
evil.
Yeah, he just looks so evil, just like looks not like a fucking trash can.
But then it
gets caught all the time and just like jumps out the window and fucking just runs away.
Yeah. But then it's just like so freaking adorable in the future, because he's like all covered with stickers and just like looks up at Scott and is like, can you see the past? And he's like, okay. Like, could you show me? Okay. It's like so simple.
Yeah, it's fucking funny. That fool's a funny ass fucking character. Dude.
Yeah, Robot 01.
Yep.
It's fucking Matthew Patel, like a dick, totally killed Robot 0.
Fuck Matthew Patel, bro.
Just cut his head.
That fool's a bitch, bro.
He makes me laugh.
I like the second episode a lot. The second episode a lot, where like he brings the whole league together and you don't know. That reminded me of Invincible, when like they all come at the end and they're like, Darkwing, why'd you summon us here? He's like, I didn't fucking summon you guys here.
Yeah, totally.
And like, well, who the fuck was it? And then Matthew Patel comes in like Omni-Man and he's like, I did,
like,
bitch.
Did I just get invited to my own lair?
Yeah, that shit was funny.
It was a good fight too. That was cool.
Really fucking good fight.
Like seeing number 1 go up against number 7 and like the reference you have for the movie. In your head, you're like, oh, Gideon's going to take this.
Yeah, but Gideon's going to whip his ass.
No, Matthew Patel kicks his fucking ass, dude. It's cool. Yep. And you get to see more of his mystical powers, too. You get, like, the demon girls or whatever.
Yeah, in the movie, they're just, like, singing in the background. They're not really doing much.
Yeah, they shoot the fireballs still, but, like, they're actually, like... In the movie, that at that point, his mystical powers are a gag. Yeah. In the movie. Even him. Like, he's just singing and flipping around like a dumbass, and then Scott punches him out of the air. But in this, they're like actually dangerous. Like, he can actually use them to fuck shit up, and it's way cooler, honestly.
Yeah, and again, like in the show, like they give more background to his singing and stuff like that, and why he likes to do it. Versus in the movie, it's just like
he just sings.
Oh yeah, this fool's stupid, and he just fucking sings all the time.
Yeah, I do miss the pirate joke. That one made me laugh. Yeah,
pirates are in.
Pirates are in this year. It's like, hey, what's up with his outfit? And then the other guy like, yeah. Is he supposed to be a pirate? It's fucking stupid, but it's hilarious, dude. It cracks me up.
God damn it, dude.
Yeah, Matthew Patel is really good in this one. I like him a lot. All of the exes are just like way cooler. Like they're just much more like explored and in depth than they ever could have been in a movie that's like an hour and 45 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I'd also just think that the series in general, because it comes from a comic book, fits better as an animated thing. Like the movie is still awesome for what it is, and like again, like the visuals are awesome to no end. They did a lot of really cool shit, but it just feels more at home when it's animated.
Yeah, I love the animation style. Like, it reminds me of like Samurai Jack.
Yeah.
Mixed with like the Gorillas freaking music video fucking animation.
Totally, yeah.
I love
the
it,
character
dude.
design is very like Gorillas. They're like stocky and like not like
Their fingers are fat.
Yeah, exactly. And they're like the gritty characters. Like they're not like super clean lines all the time, you know? Like they sometimes look a little rough, which is cool. I like it a lot.
Yeah, just such a fucking good series, man. Like, I was really like just surprised by how, like, because I held the movie in such a high regard that I was like, man, I don't know what like a reboot is really gonna like do for my liking of the universe,
Sure,
right? Like,
yeah.
if anything, it can diminish my liking of the universe, you know, depending on how good they do the show. And then just with how well they like executed it, I was like, damn, like I love this shit like even more. Like, I'm gonna go read the fucking graphic novel. I'm gonna do all that. I'm gonna do fucking all that shit. Like, it was so fucking good. Like, all these characters were great. Like, yeah, I just want to see more. Like, obviously we got that like mid-credit scene with you know with Gideon going like, now the real games are gonna begin.
Yeah, I do think I saw when the like reviews started to hit and stuff like that, I saw one person mention that the format of the title of the show could very much lend itself to multiple seasons, because like they threw it out there and they were like, takes off could be like a subtitle. The show is just called Scott Pilgrim, and every season we get a new thing. It's like Scott Pilgrim takes off, Scott Pilgrim does this, Scott Pilgrim does that, whatever. And I hope it's true, because like I will say, as cool as it was to have like even older Scott essentially be the main villain of the show, I do miss Gideon.
Yeah,
like Gideon Graves is a dope bad guy. Yeah, or Gordon Goose or whatever. And now that he's a more developed character, but
Gordon
still
Goose is a pretty fucking dope ass name, dude.
Gordon
honestly.
Goose is not bad, honestly.
Yeah,
the goose is loose.
The goose is loose. The goose is loose, bitches.
Yeah, that shit's funny,
motherfuckers. Yeah.
But yeah, I miss Gideon though. Gideon is such a great bad guy, and I think even better now because he has Julie with him too. Because like Julie's just awful and annoying in the movie, but it's a smart either retcon or maybe they did this in the books and I just don't know about it yet, to just take the extra step further and be like, no, Julie's just evil. Like Julie is actually evil.
Yeah,
like,
I like that.
That's good shit, man. I like it a lot.
I like that because she really just doesn't like Scott.
No, she doesn't like anybody though. Yeah. Like she barely like, you know what I mean? Like aside from maybe Ramona and like Gordon, obviously. Like, yeah, she just, it's perfect. I think it works really well.
I like it a lot, dude.
And Aubrey Plaza just playing evil or like just kind of slightly awful characters is just hilarious. She's so good at it with the deadpan.
I love Aubrey Plaza, bro. That's another like celebrity crush that I have. Like I love Aubrey Plaza. She's the fucking best, dude. I love her. I love watching her in fucking White Lotus.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I loved her in this, dude.
Like, I saw Ev sent me a post that said that the third season apparently reportedly is supposed to be bigger and longer than either of the last two.
That's what she said.
Yeah, that they're going bigger and badder, which I'm down with.
Ooh, I'm down.
I'll take like 10 episodes. Or the other ones were 10 already?
I don't know. Let's look.
I thought they were like 8 or something. But it's HBO, so maybe it was 10.
Let's see.
But yeah, I'll take like a 12er, you know, of the White Lotus.
12er.
Space out the whodunit vibes of it a little bit longer.
Lawyers.
White Lawyers.
White Lawyers. White Lawyers.
White Lawyers. It's a show about Caucasian lawyers in New York City.
Yeah, it's the show about this white lawyer, this white ginger lawyer in New York City.
White lawyers.
How many episodes? Let's see. Episode guide.
There you go.
7?
Oh, 7.
There was 7.
That's a weird number.
What about in season 1? I want to look at season 1.
I feel like there was probably 8.
6. Interesting.
Okay, so actually that makes sense then, because if it was 6 and then 7, then now it's 8. It's like, yeah, you get an extra episode every season.
I like that. I like
do too.
that.
That's cool.
What if I would like 10? Because if they go,
I would too.
Like to me, being like, oh, we're gonna go bigger, and then you just give us
like
one more,
way bigger.
Yeah, and then you just give us one more episode. It's like, oh, okay.
It's like, okay, you're technically right.
Yeah,
I thought you were gonna be like way bigger.
You're not wrong.
Yeah,
but you're also not the most right that you could be. You know?
I feel like HBO is also usually, I mean, like a lot of the classic stuff is always like 10 episode orders. At least back a long time ago, it was like when it was still kind of on TV and streaming. But
I think 10 episodes is just like the nice, like sort of middle ground that we're at now. Like
especially for hour-long stuff.
Yeah.
That's a lot of time to tell like a very detailed story.
Yeah.
10 hours is a lot.
Yeah, I don't think we're ever going to get back into those days of like the 20 plus episode season where everything is like an hour long.
Not for anything dramatic. I think
Yeah.
it still happens with like sitcoms and stuff.
Yeah, sitcoms
But-
for sure. Like, you know, stuff like
yeah.
Abbott Elementary and stuff
that's exactly
like
what
that.
I was thinking of. Yeah,
But,
but that's a comedy thing though.
yeah.
because like you probably don't want to sit and watch 40 minutes to an hour of a comedy thing every single week. Maybe
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah, I really don't think you could write comedy stuff that goes for 40 minutes to an
It'd
hour.
be hard. I mean, you can, but then you're verging on like stand up because like stand up shows are like an hour long. You know?
Yeah.
and like it's different.